Oh, the market just came back in. I literally just covered an Intel short.
Yeah, I'm long here.
What's crazy about it is like I'm covering Intel short for the low, but I'm like Micron's at VWAP again.
I'm trying.
So I'm looking long on VWAP. This is not a short. That was, must have had a take profit when I punched out of this. But Micron coming into VWAP. So a lot of things are happening right now. NASDAQ coming into VWAP. The market got green and is pulled back. And all of a sudden, we're looking like we're making another test of the volume weighted average price. NVIDIA's at it as well. Tesla's super far away from VWAP, so I don't have to worry too much about that. But that's another one we're looking to potentially buy dips on. So it needs to hold. Like this happened on Micron the last time. Bounced underneath VWAP and then held. Look for that quick reversal. So that's what I'm looking at instantly as we speak. But maybe I should have stuck with that Intel short instead of looking for a long on these bids. If we don't bounce off VWAP, I got to look for something else immediately. Like, what are the odds? Like, as we're starting to come in, I should have reloaded Bitcoin. I'm probably with Joe on that. I was short 48.5 and trailed out break even. Now this is breaking down. I think it's going to get VWAP as well. So market's starting to come in, but it's Micron that I'm mostly looking to hold as we speak. Wild morning and, well, wild day altogether, a day before these tariffs are going to come into effect.
Yeah, it's kind of...
And an eventful lunchtime for me. I spent 30 minutes with my credit card company that ended up being 30 minutes.
Yeah,
it was a complete nothing burger. Yeah, I'll put it this way. It's on me for lack of communication with the other person who was on my card. That's all I'm going to say. I will take the blame for it.
Yep, that's the right thing to do, always. Okay, so yeah, I know you just heard about Obi there talking a little bit about the TQs. So yeah, we're doing the same thing here, just back into this level. We just getting started here. It's at VWAP, and yeah, we're not gonna hold this like 30 more. I say handles all the time because basically 1 cent is like a handle. A handle is 1 point in the NASDAQ, so it's just old school terminology. It's not, anyways, if we fall back in sort of to where we broke out here, 57, which is kind of these pre-market levels, I don't know, realistically, we're getting close to a stop out point right here. So I just, dripped into VWAP there, the futures. I don't love this trade at the end of the day, but we're in it, so we got to watch out for it. We still have a very, very small position in Apple as well. But yeah, so far so good, man. It's been a good day, right? I mean, back and forth. We'll hear about some of those names that you guys want to talk about on the recap. I think if Joe's going to be doing that, probably. Right? Yeah, I assume we'll be doing that still. So we'll watch out for that. But yeah, market's breaking lower. Like, now you're 2 hours away, minus whatever after hours you're talking about there before, I guess, what is it, as of midnight? Like, I mean, when these tariffs actually start to kick in here. So feels like the tariffs are already in, right? But we'll have to wait.
It's all happening.
So it's all happening right in front.
Yeah, Micron just tried to bounce and then lost a bid. So it did make a bottoming tail wick at the same level. Here, I'll just zoom in so you can see. Made a bottoming tail, was able to hold. Just like last time I actually waited for it to get above VWAP. That's sloppy. I punched in as it reclaimed VWAP after making the low. Maybe that's what I should wait for here. So I'll consider that a sloppy entry and wait for a little more confirmation. But I'm kicking myself. I should have stayed in Intel instead of covering. I thought the market at VWAP was a good place to take profit on shorts and look longs. That was completely incorrect. Should have stayed in the shorts. But IBIT not really setting itself up. Going to be looking at Tesla. As Tesla's well above volume weighted average price and looking very, very strong. So it's still got some room. If we're going to bounce here, the Micron breaks back above VWAP, which is 87.8, or we wait for Tesla to come back in and catch a little bit of a bid here. If Tesla was a good long on the mean revert, I basically just scalped it for the initial $4. And like it's my best stock, more than my worst stock, but it could have been like 1,000 times better. This is the one I want to come back into. And if we lose VWAP on Micron, the Micron long was off of 86. That's the one that we're able to hold into VWAP and then get into 88.25. It went about a couple of bucks for us ultimately. So I think this can go. We're trying to get a long that we can hold for a bigger move while having relatively tight stops. That's going to be the style, especially with this pullback that we have. Maybe they want to sell it off going into these tariffs. Market was such a strong one yesterday. I want to give this one a chance.
Yeah, I could definitely see some of this stuff breaking. Okay. President Trump about weapons exports right now, talking about that. So, yeah, that's not really, I mean, LMT, all those kind of names, not really. Maybe Smith & Wesson, I don't know. something like that. But okay, so we're talking now. We've got President Trump on some sort of a mic, so we'll just wait to hear, you know, what the next couple stories are. Obviously, people are going to be asking him about tariffs, and I just feel like anything out of the mouth there won't be negative, will just be what's to be expected. Like, I don't expect him saying that, nah, we're not going to do tariffs anymore or something. So here it comes right back in. It looks like we are getting that final move right back in right now. So NASDAQ was up, and now it's coming back down. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be one of those afternoons where we should be favoring short, it seems like right now. I know Obi had a great one at the top there of the Qs. We rode this from bottom to top, and now it looks like stuck in the middle. And this is just a lesson. Don't need to be trading here. We're only out 25 handles right now, but still, it's going to suck to give something back if this breaks through with 57 finally here. So, yeah, chips are weak. I think everything right now, Tesla got to 277? That's kind of still, actually, Tesla's not even falling that much, still up 5%.
Did you see,
there?
just one note, Newsmax is now at $211.
Oh, yeah, I saw someone post in the chat there.
Oh, what's crazy is the locates came down in price. It spiked to almost $100 for 100 shares, and then it pulled back, the locates on this, to like 64. That would have made some sense. This is now, look, it's going into HKD territory. I think when HKD eventually, if I remember correctly, when HKD eventually broke 250, it got really ridiculous. And that's when it started getting like stupid parabolic. Eventually, I think it saw 2,500 the next day, or it was like a couple of days that it happened. But yeah, this one's still going, obviously, as you can see. Like, we were right to be a little bit more patient with Micron and see it either hold VWAP or get right back into the bottom that we wanted on MU. Like, and that's off of this 86. Willing to take shots for tight stops, and when you get it, try to hold it. So if we're going to lose here, I'm waiting for there to take a bigger shot on MU and Intel. Before we're going to go up to Joe in a quick little second. That just hit low of the day. Next available pop, we're going to go short into INTC. Looking for 22s next. But let's see what you guys want to talk about. I'm going to guarantee you Tesla is going to be on the list. I wouldn't be surprised if NMAX, maybe 211%. $211, I should say.
It's more, what percent is it? Must be.
All right, guys, welcome to the afternoon rundown. The tickers chose by you. Make sure you join Obi and I and get those votes in so you get to see what we talk about on the afternoon rundown. Now, Tesla, much anticipated deliveries coming tomorrow, guys, up 5% on the day. But you can see from an options standpoint, some heavy deep-pocketed investors have adopted a bearish approach towards Tesla. Is this something that we need to be wary about and watch out for tomorrow's deliveries, guys?
Yeah, we're expecting, actually Randy was here talking about the entire space and how inventory has been a problem, so they're doing discounts all over the place, and Stellantis is looking the worst. Well, Tesla's been doing it as well. That said, doesn't matter. Tesla's been strong today. I actually we never got our dip buy in either 256 or 252. So when it broke trend, I punched into the long, kind of keystroked out for $2.50. It'll still be good. But right now it's coming into the volume-weighted average price in 270. When you zoom this out and you look at the 15-minute chart on Tesla, it did have a good support level at some point off this 270. So this is a level that's been supported before. It's also supported by VWAP. At some point, you think the market is going to catch a little bit of a bid. If it does, rather be long a strong stock on a dip and short pops on weak ones. So Tesla is in the bucket of the strong trades, at least for now. If it gets underneath 270, I think you could see some acceleration. Can't look at any mean reversion trades because it's already broken any trend to the upside. Hence, we'll wait for VWAP at 270 on Tesla.
Yeah, we were something very similar there on Tesla, where we're waiting just for a little bit lower there today. And I mean, even when this trade happened, we were kind of looking at this. And initially it bounced off the 200 period moving average. So kind of giving you maybe that bottom that, you know, potentially you were looking for there. Let me just zoom in a little bit more. But then it just came through, that's too much. And then it just came through even more than that. So there was the initial bump there off the 200 period moving average, and then the whoops all the way to the upside. And then here's that epic drop that we've seen at like $10 top to bottom there on Tesla. And then it just started going the rest of the day and to where we are now. And Neil just talked about sort of some of those levels. But again, right into here, always thinking about Tesla, right? And always thinking about like, where are those bottoms? If there's anything that you can dip buy off of, I just feel like right into there, 260, pretty missed opportunity right there for Tesla. So yeah, we'll wait to see if it gets back into those levels. I don't think we'll get there now. Maybe view up at 270 might be okay. But yeah, Tesla right now falling back in. The NASDAQ has gone red, by the way. So we just got stopped out at TQQs there. It's too bad. We bought some TQQs at the, what's next? N to the max. Okay, so not TQQs. Right there. So we just got stopped out right there. That's too bad. Fell all the way back in. I still think it's a buy down here, though. We may have to wait till 56.50, that bottom. But yeah, TQs right now. Joe?
N to the max.
N to the max.
To the max here, guys. One of the hottest IPOs thus far this year, guys. Up over 1,300% from yesterday's IPO, the initial public offering. So trading higher, be wary. You don't want to be caught short on this end of on this side of the stick here, guys, with NMAX.
No.
I think if you've never seen any of the larger scale squeezes, like I'm talking the big ones. We're not just talking about like your everyday rando. Roaring Kitty's talking about GameStop and it goes for like a day or two. No, I'm talking about HKD and now NMAX is going to be in there. GameStop the first few days. DWAC had something like this. Maybe not the same as Volkswagen. That was more of a structural type of thing that lasted a little bit longer and was a little bit crazier. But think about that. Think about the same nonsense. Very small float. Only 7.5 million shares came to the market, and it's just been soaked up and now squeezing like crazy. The problem with this trade is it's your risk to reward on anything. Like if you're long, you almost have to scalp because it's starting to get to the point where even reasonable pullbacks are insane. Like this pulls back $50 and it's technically not that bad of a trend break. So you put that into perspective and there's not a heck of a lot that you can work with as a day trade. I'm staying far away from it. I think the chances maybe people can trade this off of these little consolidations down here. Like when it does stuff like that, you can take your shots in it. I didn't pay for locates. It's not like I'm even trying to short this, nor would I even want to. I think getting these on the back end makes a heck of a lot more sense when they've already failed a high and then put in some lower highs. And you can go back historically and look at when they already capitulate and then you short it, in the days after it's starting to fall. That's a little bit better for the short trade, as opposed to trying to pick a top as it's going up. It tends to lead to disaster. So I'm going to stay away from that notion. As I said, I'm not even paying for locates.
Yeah, no, keeps on going to the high side. The other name that was MLGO, the one that I was actually in earlier today and out almost immediately. Actually, pretty much immediately. So this is a 1 minute chart. So halted on me at $28. It was a level that we liked there. I cannot believe we got stopped. I mean, we got back into the TQs, but we only got in half of what we got stopped out of. So that's too bad. Hopefully they'll come back up. But there's MLGO, came right back into 28. We thought we liked it. It was sort of the pre-market level there. And then it halted on the way down. I would never have. Again, just seeing this move, I wasn't on the stock, so it's pretty silly for me to put an order there. But again, it was just 1 unit or not even. It was only a $30 stock, but still, it comes all the way back in. We got hit, then it was just halt all the way down, and now it seems to have been settling a little bit. MLGO. Maybe the 200 period, I don't know. It seems like it's not really the jam today as everyone looking at NMAX, but there's another one that halted a couple times earlier, MLGO. Did NMAX even halt, though? Yeah, I guess, yeah, okay, it was halting early, and we just had a halt move right there back in at 180. So I guess, yeah, it did. So anyways, more attention over here, 7 million.
Can I say one note?
Yeah, go.
And just to cover, because I know some people are like, oh, but it's like, give me such a good short. We have to cover all of our positions here at Real Trading at the end of the day. So what you see like hedge funds do or some other traders where they're going to be shorting the top, and they're like, well, it's eventually going to go down. I'll just hold it as long as my account can take, and I'm going to win. We can't do that. Like if we can't win in the next hour and a half, then it doesn't matter. It could go down tomorrow and we can't benefit from that unless you hold overnight. So that changes it when you're shorting these tops as a day trader. You have to be very, very particular about those entries. That's all I wanted to get through. Mm-hmm. I'm not, I fully do think this thing is going to fall apart at some point. Of course I do. But it's timing it as a day trader it's not that simple when you have to have it work that day. Let's go talk a little bit about Bitcoin. I was in the same boat as you, Joe, 48.5.
there, Neil, on Bitcoin starting to pull back a little bit as well, too. So that is a positive sign for the shorts here, guys. But BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says Bitcoin can rival dollar as global reserve currency. And we're starting to see those large amounts of inflows coming back into this ETF here, guys. Bitcoin looking good, up 3% on the day.
I don't think the administration will be happy if it's ever global reserve currency. I hope so.
Well, I mean,
as
if
a
they have all
Bitcoin holder,
these coins in there,
let's go. That'd be fantastic. But a good recovery in BTC. I'm just going to show you IBIT because that's what we trade. I like the long off the open on IBIT and give a couple of shots at it. You can see the pullback that it put in. At the time that it was down here, we were looking long in Micron, and that's what we grabbed off the lows. I was in the short on IBIT and just put a trail on it to get up. I only had like 20% left, but still, that 48.5 looking very, very good as a short trade. I don't know exactly what that corresponds with, but it's slightly above 85,000, let's just say. So that top looks really good, 48.5 on IBIT. I think if we get back up there, unless something is really drastically changing, it's worth a scalp trade. A breakdown underneath VWAP could also make sense, but we're so far away from it. Like that shelf breaks, you still have room to go. Really just want a second crack at it. Up at those highs. So if the market bounces, we continue to put lower highs in. I think scalping the short will make sense on IBIT. I still like it long term. And I'm still of the opinion that we're retesting that. We're testing 70s before I think we're going back over 100. Has been my kind of thought on Bitcoin. I've been buying, and I bought once in this range, I think at like 84 something, 84.269 or something ridiculous like that. And I'm waiting for it to get in the 70s again to buy more IBIT. Or Bitcoin.
yeah, I think Bitcoin's going to be a good play long term. But yeah, wait. I mean, at this point, you might as well wait for it. I don't know if. I mean, are there tariffs on Bitcoin purchases? I mean, you just got to wait to see how this all settles down because we've been watching the Nasdaq against crypto for a while. So if the Nasdaq is going to go a little bit up and down, I mean, it was nice to see the recovery a little bit there today. Now under 85,000, not recovering at all is Coinbase. Like I thought Coinbase was going to be in for a nice little run. We did, hear higher than expected trading revenues, higher than expected everything for Coinbase, but it's really been getting hit hard on this move. So I don't know if there's more attention now on some potentially other exchanges or whatnot, but yeah, Coinbase broken below the bottom right now. This to me looks like a short, and yeah, we may be going a little lower on this, especially like if we get into the 70s there for crypto, like, definitely this 150 going to be coming in hot. And Coinbase doesn't report for a minute too. So, you may be getting into this 120 area where I think it's a buy. I mean, I think you got to eventually step into this name, but, with not a great PE here, Coinbase just continues to get hit. I mean, look at today, like even just this last hour on Coinbase down $4. That seems pretty dramatic. So yeah, definitely a huge move down there. Not trading the same as it had been here. Coinbase, risky. Anyways right now. So I think it goes lower, but again, I do like it. It was a pick that I had going into this year. So Coinbase, I'm not supporting it because of that reason. I still think it goes lower. Like Bitcoin's not, what is like if you look at the chart, it's too bad I don't really know how to overlay, but if you, just on these charts, if you just look at what IBIT's doing, you're kind of just right back to where we were on the election again, right? So this is November 12th for IBIT pricing. Right, and then if you go to Coinbase, let me just see what Coinbase is like. Hopefully, it doesn't blow up in my face. Yeah, so November 12th. So I guess we're not too far. I guess it would be right here. So that would be 217 to 220. If you kind of match up where crypto with the price of IBIT and the price of Coinbase. So yeah, about that, right? So there is a little bit of a give up here in Coinbase. So just be careful. Not great to be levered into Coinbase these days. All right, IBIT next. Bite out of Apple. Yeah, today was a good one. My number one stock today, Apple. Let's go find out why.
Hey guys, what's going on with Apple? Still negative, surprisingly, on the day, but Apple stock a buy on revenue durability and visibility. So analysts highlight China smartphone sales are up here, guys. Analysts see strong momentum for the company's smartphone in international markets, including China. The latest inventory checks and data could signal some optimism for the iPhone and for iPhone sales, guys. 8 billion people on the planet, 1 billion iPhones. Let's see what the big boys think about Apple.
Billion iPhones, yeah.
We're well above 8 billion.
Just hearing about Newsmax. What is it at? 187, so falling down a little bit there.
down.
Newsmax just a little bit there. Apple, yeah, we wrote down 218.50 to 219 long. So for some reason we like that there. We just looked at yesterday and some of the strength that was in the market yesterday. And this morning we even were a little bit like iffy about which direction the market was going to go. So what we did was we just looked at what yesterday looked like, right? And yesterday for Apple started here, started from the bottom, now we're here. And then all of a sudden, I was just like, okay, if we're going to be a little bit questionable about where this market's going, let's just have a quick look to see if Apple, which had strength heading into the close, had strength all yesterday, where could be a dip buy opportunity if one presented itself, right? And we just wrote down 219 to 218.50. We didn't get all the way down here. You know, if you got all the way back to where we were at 10:30 yesterday, then yeah, we probably deserve to get stopped out. But at the end of the day, it was a huge move. 219 basically long there, up to 223.50 is our best out. So I have a breadcrumb left, just waiting to see. But yeah, it's all aboard right now for Apple. I mean, again, like the stock, it's been a good one. I don't know if it's what it's going to do on the daily chart right here because you're still underneath the 50-period moving average. So yeah, looking kind of ugly underneath right now for Apple. So we'll have to wait for it to get above the 200, and that's $230. So still a little ways to go here as the futures just keep on stepping lower here.
A great look and great trade in Apple, but WTF is going on with these IPOs?
Yeah, we don't have that one though.
We don't have.
It's in now.
Well,
I looked at it earlier. Okay, good. Go.
That was entirely upon everybody because Watton Financial Limited IPO that just halted to the upside. So this one's going up, and Newsmax it's open. Newsmax halted down. It's now reopened, so it's pulling back in as well. So one goes up. One goes down. These squeezes continue. I didn't trade Apple, so I can't really go over it. I'm only in Amazon off of VWAP. I'm looking at VWAP retraces at this point. So held, got in at VWAP, giving it to the local bottom, and then comes right out. So I'm looking for those small. I know you're only talking about 30 cents there, but the market is coming back in, and I'm looking for those types of dips. If I can find a structured long off of VWAP on a stronger stock, that's what I want to be able to take, where my risk to reward is good. Like if your first out here is probably going to be in this, well, for myself, in the 50 to 60 cent range there, and then I'm looking to hold past the 192 half break, cover. I like the R&R if we can bounce off this, but I'm not fighting any of these stocks underneath volume weighted average price. And just be careful with that. Like, I know we're all joking around how crazy these are, and I glossed over that WTF. Like, this is the same bucket as Newsmax. Not a large float. Clearly, it's squeezing. It could go crazy, but I've very rarely seen when something goes nuts because another thing went nuts, that the second one after is remotely as good as the first. So if you're thinking Newsmax here, the percentages say not likely. I know there were followers after HKD, and they were just nowhere near as big in terms of returns. Like this has already gone 4 to 10.50. Like for it to be the equivalent, it would go to, I don't know, like at least 70, 80 bucks. You know, that's not like it's unlikely to happen on sympathy because obviously this is not about fundamentals with Watton Financial Limited, whatever that is.
WTF, yeah. All right, so bite out of Apple. Yeah, we just talked about it. All right, let's go back over to Hims versus Hers now, and a late story kind of hitting the market here.
What? Oh, I wasn't.
Hims or Hers, guys, up 7% on the session. Hims looking to sell Lilly's Zepbound through the telehealth platform. Getting into those weight loss drugs here, guys, is Hims, and you can see the pop in the stock. Once again, up over 7% on the session, guys.
Again, we don't have them here, but a platform, I guess, where you can online platform where you're able to order different medical devices, medicines, pills, all that kind of stuff.
You know what the joke is about.
Yeah, I know, but they have more than just that.
Yeah, I know.
So, but anyways, yeah, I guess they got, was it Zepbound, did you just say? Is that what it was? Eli Lilly, anyways. Well, yeah, okay, good, thanks. So at the end of the day, it looks like it's going to be good news here, obviously, as the offering seems to have hit them, being able to offer up to $33. It was kind of, this has been like one of those wild stocks where, wasn't there an index action on this too? Like, the 200 period, let's just call it for what it is, regardless of whatever macro we're looking at right there, that $24, $25. We had fallen from 72. So there must have been a huge short float. I can't, or something wrong with the share structure. I have to really look this one up to see what exactly this was all about. But I feel like it was an inclusion into, was it the Russell or something?
It went into something.
And then right back in right there. So let's just look at, forget about it, it's wild on the daily. If we're just gonna look here for some potential support or resistance, this is the 200 period moving average on a 5-minute chart. So it's been good right there. It broke it, went upside, and we've held it ever since. And by ever since, I just mean this is from right now. So we'll have to wait to see if it does come back into $29 again. So for me, that would be a level there. Hims versus hers was up huge today, now all the way back into $31. So obviously a little confused here on what exactly that's trying to do. But Hims versus hers, not too bad.
You could do worse.
Hims and hers, not Hims versus hers, my bad.
You could do worse on a squeeze than this. With the 30% short float, it just needs to catch a little bit of a base. I'm with you on that. And it doesn't hurt when you have a bunch of other stuff squeezing and you're looking at a squeeze play. I think for today, though, you're probably just looking for it to show volume above into 32, above 31.5 into 32. So far, you're getting a little bit of support there. Wow, we were just, you want to go very quickly. We're done, right? Yeah, we are.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we're done. I don't know if we'll trade Hims, but we were just wicked out and breaking out VWAP. It's like, okay, yeah, we're going 20, 30 cents of the money on Amazon, taking a second shot at it, throwing an offer out there, trying to get that first 50 pennies, and then right back in, a bit of a rejection. And then I look over at the short plays that I like this, like seriously, Intel, ooh. Sometimes what'll happen is you have a bid out and you just can't cancel it fast enough. And you get, when there's a big down wick, you just get grabbed, and this continues to go lower, now down 4%. I do want to short a pop in this. It's got everything going for it for a short, trending down, broke a major moving average, breaking the lows. Technically, it hasn't broken yesterday's low yet, but it is at those lows. Ideally, a bit of a bounce so we can play back into 22 on Intel. We'll see if we get any kind of a bounce to be able to fade into this. Norman Special says Newsmax is back. It's open, and it's trying to bounce. It's not above the halt down price. So just remember, the last time it halted down, it actually followed through. There's a halt down. It followed through to the downside. Even then it halted down again, and it wasn't until it started closing multiple candles above that halt price that it started to get strong again. So just, like I said, just be careful with it. I think if you have a strategy that works, great, congratulations. I remember trading the meme stock days and like Funware and DWAC, and those were, like, things worked. I just never find these the same in terms of a liquidity aspect. Like, if you're trading Funware and DWAC, it really wasn't that much trouble getting in and out of it. I find this is incredibly different. Stevenson ETN, you think MSTR might see the day's low? If the market sees the day's low and if Bitcoin can't hold 85,000, MSTR, it's fully capable of that. But it's just what's going to happen in Bitcoin. I'm not completely convinced that Bitcoin is as weak as the overall market right now. It's holding 85. I think it's holding up a little bit better than the NASDAQ as we speak. And that's the real rub. Like, if we're not, like, Bitcoin's holding up pretty decently here. And if that doesn't fall through, what's going to take MSTR to the low of the day? Sure, the NASDAQ's going, but it should in some way loosely follow Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, I mean, 84.9. Let's get back above and see what can happen. I mean, I think we should be trading IBIT for sure if it starts to go a little bit. Yeah, no, for those of you asking, so Apple is just, we should be out of this already. If this breaks a little bit lower, we'll just get out. We have literally 1% left of this trade. I heard Obi mention one of his trades, he had 1% left as well. Those are those breadcrumbs, right? So, but what am I longing into VWAP? We're already past VWAP. What I was looking at for the TQs was right here, the 200 period moving average. So I don't know, man. We had this very bottom to the top. So we actually were. I can show you the chart, whatever. But I'm trying to show you because the trade, and you know, I know we talk about this. Everybody should talk about it. It doesn't matter, like whatever trade you have before. It's about like what trade you have now, because trading is not really about what you make today. It's kind of about what can you make your next trade. Because unless you're going to stop trading, then you have to figure out, what risk do I want to associate with this? Is it an A+ setup? What is going on? And for me, this would be a good setup. The NASDAQ pulling back into where it's found support and then ripping off of there. But again, if we break this level of 5630s, then we should get out, because we don't, if you don't hold these levels down here, then the next sort of move is, a lot lower. So we're just trying to see, there's a gap fill there. We're going to try to see, it's only gap because we don't start the charts. So, but yeah, right into there, just see if it can hold that. I don't know, but we just got clarification there from Adara that it's 4 p.m. tomorrow is when Donald Trump is expected.
Oh, it's at the end of the day.
Yeah, to have the tariff announcement. So so that's what I was going to say. It's okay, come on, TQQs. Look, man, we're back in the money now, 25 handles on this. So let's get another piece out here at 01s. So there it is. So it's so a couple good outs here. We lost right there. It came in, we got some out. Then we tried to buy 57s. Once it broke 57s, we got out there at 56.80. So, then we kind of bought it back. I was thinking that this was right there, this candle on the futures, which happened at 210. I thought that was an exhaustion candle, so that's why we got stopped out there. Then we went back long, took advantage of that, then bought again at the bottom of that candle, only for it to break one more time. So losses here this afternoon for the Qs. And then there it was this morning. So that was our best trade. Someone asked about where we got out, 11:45 basically. So whatever that was on the NASDAQ, in at 10:30, out at 11:45. And right now, just trying to see if we're going to hold those bottoms, but well aware that we haven't really gotten any good news about anything recently. So hopefully the market will go back up and we'll be able to get some more out. Realistically, you might have been asking me about if we're holding it back to VWAP. So if we're holding it back to VWAP, yes, that's a great look by you. My offer is actually at 30s. So we'll see if we can get a little bit higher. I'm waiting at 09s as well to get some out, just because we haven't got up to there yet. So if we get there, then 30s so 10% here, then 30% or so right here, if we can get VWAP. And then if we're right, maybe we get back to the highs of the day there. I don't know, but that's what we're looking for right now in the Q. So great question. My bad. I realize now you're probably asking if I'm holding for that. So yes, that's what we're doing. I just saw something. We'll have
just very quick.
Yeah, go.
WTF opened back up, and for anyone that was asking about it, if it's not a 5-minute halt on a volatility, it's always going to be 10 minutes or something is broken, which doesn't really happen very often. But it's already halted again. Okay. So opened up after a 10-minute halt, and this is a liquidity thing. Usually 99 point whatever % of the time, if it's a 10-minute halt, it's because there's no liquidity and they're trying to have an orderly open, so they hold it another 5 minutes. The current theoretical auction price is $14.92. It's at $12.65. This feels like it's the one. I don't know if that means that Newsmax is going to stop going, because this other one is going. But right now, it is halted. The last one was a 10-minute halt. You don't know if it'll be 5 or 10. You can always go, both the NYSE and the NASDAQ have halt pages that you go into to see when the quote resumption will happen. But when it's volatility, you know it's 5 or 10 minutes. So I think that's the new one here, WTF. The irony of that stock being WTF and then doing one of these parabolic moves, it'll make me chuckle a little bit here. So I got some out in front of 191.5 on Amazon, and I'm immediately thinking reload. You haven't broken this downward trend yet, because if you try to connect as many points as possible, which to me, that's what you do on trend lines. If you just connect these 2 points at the top, then you have a more shallow one. But that's not what a trend is. A trend is connecting as many points of contact as possible. And so it needs to break 191.5 to bust out the trend line. So either I'm getting the fills under VWAP to the low where I'm willing to stop out, or I'm busting more long if we break that trend line on Amazon. So that's the next play. Intel, really the market tries to bounce. This tries to bounce, and very futilely so here on INTC. If it wasn't at yesterday's low, the problem here is there's yesterday's bottom. It's bouncing off yesterday's bottoms. That's a tricky place to want to enter the short. I'm hoping we can get some kind of a little rally in here and get a better price on this. Like I said, shouldn't have taken it out in the first place, but we did. So got to be able to move on to the next. Next trade, short the pops. Looking for something else that could be theoretically weak that I also like, because I'm not shorting one of those small cappers. What else we got going on in the chat? Mean Gene 1980, who decides to halt the exchange? It's a good question, but if you're just talking about a volatility halt, based on price, there's different bands. It moves too fast, moves too much. in a too short of a period of time, depending on its price. Sometimes it's 10%. They can make it a higher percentage when it's like a penny stock. And then it just hits the halt band. And then it's 15 seconds. If it's going up, that's 15 seconds to either go down or halt. So those are automatic. The length of the halt, that's at the exchange. And it's either 5 or 10 minutes. I can think of one case in which it was past 10 minutes on a volatility halt and didn't make any sense. And that was back in the DWAC days. It happened on Funware. So this should be open. If it's not open in 2 minutes, it's open in 7 minutes on WTF. So hopefully that helps. And as I said, they're all good questions. I feel like if you're not sure about how halts work or trading, getting an open order out there after it comes back in, like a market on open order to sell or to buy, maybe you want to stay away from the halt names. If you're not familiar with that kind of thing, they are pretty dangerous.
Yeah, just ask us anything, or ask your broker. The way our system, the way our system might work might be a little different than yours. And then, plus, you want to make sure that you have shortable shares as well. You don't want to get too many offers out there. Blah blah blah. But okay, so I just got out of Apple. It did break a little bit lower there. This was our first trade on Apple, and we are just holding a small piece. And the reason why I decided to get out here is pretty simple. We actually got that 09. I mean, obviously now it's right here, but we got that 09, then it dripped right back into 56.80 again, 56.85. We are not brave enough to reload it down there. I'm waiting for much lower than that on the reload. We talked about the level that we would like down here, 56.50 if it's gonna go down. So for right now, we're gonna hold on to this and see if it can go. So back up here into 30s is where I'm waiting. I'm waiting at 30, but the 50 period's coming down, so we may adjust that. But at the end of the day, if it goes, it goes. We should be okay with that one. Newsmax, let's have a quick look at that one. 196, so still working itself out right now. It looks like it's going to do tons of volume, 8 million shares. Looks like it wants to keep on going as well. So Newsmax, the printing press has not stopped there today. I know there's a lot of traders, and we see it on our chat. Like, some have got blown out, some have done really well on it. Regardless of what you're doing, definitely some options here to trade today. It looks like we're trying to break right now, this 194, 195. You can see the spread. So when you're looking here, although there are part shares everywhere, you want to look up to the level 1 up here. So that's kind of like, you see 194 by 198. That's like really where the only 100 shares are. So you're going to have in between here, you're going to have a lot of part fills, right? But as you can see right now, see, look at that, $6 spread right now, 197, 202. So even though there's someone there at $200, as you can see, it's not even 100 shares. See, like that ARCA, they're just showing that price, and they obviously have a lot of shares underneath it. It's only 100 shares there, and you can see it was literally printing like many more than that. So not too fast to see that, but that's just something to consider. If you're trying to trade this with more shares or bigger size, very dangerous game right there. But like WTF is now open.
Well, WTF's open. And someone asked, Bob Coran in the chat, like, why aren't you guys shorting Newsmax? And I was sort of saying this before. We can't hold overnight. If it doesn't work, there's a day trade in the next hour, then it's not going to work.
Gone now.
I didn't pay $100 per share for the locates. They went down about 64, but for that reason. It's a crazy type of trade that you have to have a very particular strategy that works. Have been able to make sense of things like DWAC and Funware and GameStop. These ones, different story. Not afraid to admit it. I've tried, not on this particular case. I remember like the first day of HKD, I think I think I put like 1 or 2 trades on, maybe went 1 for 2. But what I was generally trying to do was take longs off these types of consolidations. Like, that's the play that I was more interested in even back then. And I find there was a lot of stop running when you were trying to put orders out there. So it's a little bit of a tricky trade. I prefer to stay away from it. Just stick to your own strategy. I know for a lot of people that when you see the accounts that make the real big money shorting these things, a lot of times they're holding it for multiple days. We're making the short work. You're holding it sometimes overnight into the aftermarket, which we don't do. That's the thing.
I just tried to get long. Just long. No, what WTF? Because it just halted again. I was sitting here at 15.26 trying to get the long when it was as it was halting. I was just letting Neil go there.
On the halt bid?
No, yeah, rip. Like it was just kept on going higher there. So there it goes, man. 1530s again. So halting now at 1526. We have the theoretical auction price here showing 1550. So there it is now back to 1526. We'll keep checking back on this, but right now it looks like WTF is halted again. Was that a call for Ms. Adara? All right, let's go.
What? Back to us.
All right, so all right, it's not her mic, it's someone else's mic. Just went crashing down there. So Fabian will get on to that one. Okay, yeah. So news with Adara now.
Sorry about that, guys. Keep an eye on the market and specifically on some of these larger big tech names. Right now, there is a Senate Judiciary Committee meeting in progress. This meeting is going to be basically about antitrust for big tech. I'm currently watching this. If anything market-moving results from this meeting, I will let you know, but I think it's worth noting that it is currently occurring. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. Just because I want to see. If WTF is really cheap, I should have checked it out right away. If it's really cheap, I'll just have the locates just in case. I think that's something that, as a day trader here at Real Trading, you want to be able to do, just so you have them in the pocket, like COREWEAVE. Like COREWEAVE, off the open, we're just going long on COREWEAVE. But we'd still like to pay for the locates because you never know what can happen after. And after we're done with the longs in the first hour, we eventually went into the shorts. So I'm not on WTF. Anyways, Amazon,
WTF?
reload, looking for 192. I meant to be on WTF as I was saying all of that. But yeah, I'm just going to see. It'll probably be really expensive with only an hour to go that it's not necessarily going to be worth it. 12 cents a share? Actually,
Yeah, that's not expensive at all.
that's actually not expensive at all. All right, on the off chance it goes for like 25 bucks. Something along those lines. If it does something really stupid where you can get like a topping tail candle, risk $1, and you can take a shot, but it has to do something really crazy. But I'll have them in the pocket there. Oh, a temp, what is a locate? In order to go short, you borrow shares and then you sell them into the market. So your broker locates available shares that can be lent so you can borrow. So we just call them locates because, well, that's what somebody else calls them. But really, you're just borrowing the shares and your broker is locating them. 99-point-something% of all stocks in the US markets for us at Real Trading are free. You can short Apple, you can short anything, iBit, whatever you want, and you don't pay a fee for them. Things like this, like a new IPO or just a really low float stock, oftentimes you will have to pay a fee. In this case, 12 cents per share on WTF.
Tesla's gone a lot in the afternoon, so I'm wondering if
It's breaking down, though.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up,
Is
Randy?
it, though?
What did Randy just say?
Okay, so Randy just said Rivian's hauling ass.
I was wondering, I was like, what did he say?
Rivian is pulling back into VWAP. Oh, Randy's gone. That's his. I know it's having a good day, Rivian 5%, but it's trend down. Like he literally said Rivian's hauling ass, and then he just walked away. So I pull it up, and it's attempting to bounce off of VWAP, but not going to take two plays in the same range. Instead, reloaded Amazon, looking for the break of 191.5. At this point, it has. I mean, technically speaking, it's closing above the trend by holding VWAP in here. So I think if we break out this next step, we'll look to add one more time on Amazon. I'll let you know about WTF, but it should be open in 1 minute, provided it's a 5-minute halt. So WTF should be open in a minute. I'm sure fun things are also happening on NMAX out there for everybody. Yeah, $206.
Yeah, well,
And still going.
we were thinking about that one.
It's going to be.
WTF might be similar. Do we know how many shares were out on that one? Because that's.
I was in the middle of checking.
Yeah,
and
okay,
I couldn't find it in the very first thing that I pulled up, so I'll keep checking.
Yeah, so what's up to A Wheeler there in the chat telling me to get out of TQQs. So I just wanted to say, like, that is kind of starting to get a little bit dicier. So I was going to actually show you guys this, that we just made a move right now. So the 200 period, the 50 period just is in right now. So I got some more outs there at 57. And right now we just made a move back to the 50 period. So now that this has come back in, let's get out one more piece here at, I just offered 12s. Okay, we got it anyways. So now we'll wait to see, can we climb a little bit higher? I still have 57.30s marked down because that's where VWAP is. So we'll see if we can get that play as well. And then hopefully after that, man, we'll be able to moon a bit. You know, I just trying to buy these dips in the NASDAQ. It's a little irresponsible, and that's not irresponsible in the way that we've been getting out. It's just, it's not looking the greatest. You know, we talk about A+ setups and what we're really looking for. This right now is underneath everything. So we just got the bottom again. So trying to get some out here. And that's why I wanted to say I'm going to get some more out right now at 99. It's the A wheeler. There we go. We got some more out. Yeah, I think you're right about waiting on this. And I mean, we are waiting on it. So we've been scalping it out. I'm out of I have a third left of this position. And then I still want to try this level there. You know, that's the break there. That's it all the way back down. Feel like we could support, but that's what I'm going to do there. And then again, my next out is just at 57.28, right? And then dip buys down to 56.40. Okay, so that's that. Thanks for everybody for listening to that little thing. All right, JP Morgan. I wanted to see some of the sectors that, what I want to look at, I just retweeted something. Brian should be joining me tonight. I haven't heard any different from him yet. But here it is right here from Alpha Trend. So Q1 is now in the books, right? So we ended that yesterday with March 31st. So let's have a look to see what's going on right now in the marketplace of indexes right now. And you can see here, look at the worst one, man. So far, year to date, Ethereum is down 45%. Year to date, so down 45% in 3 months is Ethereum.
That's nasty.
That is disgusting. So welcome to the age of crypto. And then BTC, yeah, I know.
Bitcoin is the one, man.
Bitcoin right there, 12% down still, right? NASDAQ down 11%. That's XLK. Energy is up 10. So that's where XLE is. And you guys know, man, we've been talking about XLE for a minute. That's the only energy that I own. Besides some Enbridge, we've talked about that as well. TLT there, the Treasury, XLF, the financials, and then there's my Diamonds call. At least it's okay, down 1% there. And there's my XBI call, that's down 10% as well. We've talked about NVIDIA having its worst quarter since 22, so in 3 years, so no surprise there that the semiconductors down. Even no place to hide with IWM, although we thought it was a rate cut cycle. That should benefit the Russell 2000, doesn't look like it. Down 10 on the NASDAQ. So it looks like XLK, obviously a little heavier weighted, maybe to a Tesla or something than the Qs, as that's still down. And then, old trusty, honestly, the SPY, the fact that it's been a pretty bad quarter for sure, obviously, as you look down there. Interesting to see, obviously, with the spiders being still weighted towards energy, a little bit with financials in there as well. So makes sense that it's not down as much, but nice to see that is at least trying to hold, only being down 4%, which isn't too bad after back-to-back, 20% years, right? So we still look to support that. And I've been dip buying some of the S&P 500 as well. So that's not lately. The last couple of dip buys, I bought NASDAQ middle of last week. You guys remember me telling you? And then we've been buying SPY the weeks before that. So if we're going to look at a daily chart for the SPY, unless you bought basically, I mean, there's been a few spots where you could be up recently if you bought, but into today, not many people are going to be above water. So, just waiting to see if this can get back up. You don't see this drop too often. We can just do the math. It was only down 4% on the year, but just from its right here into where we're going right now, and that's that very bottom, that's 9%. So although we're only down 4 on the year, it's 9% since mid-February. So pretty nasty there to break down for the SPY. So yeah, it might be a good buying opportunity right there, or it might be we are just getting started.
You know what? I still like energy, and I'm going to be dip buying the XLF as well. Those are holding up pretty well. But just very quickly, bit of a wall forming at 191.5 on Amazon. It's bouncing off 191. It's just not breaking out 191.5. If it doesn't break out here, then there's no buys above VWAP to be had. And every time we lose the bid, I want to have a tight stop on it. I don't want this breaking this, like it's trying to break the trend, the downward trend here, fails a breakout and then takes the shelf off. Like that's the kind of thing that can accelerate on you really, really quickly. WTF did open back up, and it did very briefly. This is real. It did make a fresh high after that last down halt, wicked above the high at 1535 and back underneath there. So if you were I mean, you have to be Johnny on the spot, I would imagine, to take that failed break of the high and get it short back through 14.95. If you're really fast and you could have got like 80s or 90s, that's not a bad risk to reward on the short, but that's come and gone there. And it's right back up. That's how quickly it happens. Like, it does that move, gives you 13s, so you could risk maybe 30, 40 cents and then try to take it down into that 13. But now it's a little bit more calmed down and holding underneath that 15 level. So WTF slowing down a little bit. It hasn't had a red candle since 2 o'clock. Yeah, since 2:03 when we came on. So it's been an hour since its last red candle, a couple of halts on the way up. But right now, I'm looking at this Amazon. If we can't hold this higher low bid, we're breaking this trend. And I am out of the long in Amazon. I'm able to scalp it a couple of times in here into 190, 150, but there is no follow through. Oh, and Tesla. Tesla also breaking down underneath VWAP. It just can't seem to hold on either. So market's starting to come back in. We're running out of time for these bounces.
That's what I'm wondering about right now. So it's 251. I think we just absolutely nailed it there on the TQs. We just talked about that. Well, I feel pretty confident about what we just talked about, getting out as we popped back into that 200, into the 50-period moving average. So those were great outs for me. We'll get some more out here as we can pop back into that level now, 99. So maybe something to be had here in this space for myself and the TQs. So if we can pop up a little bit into there, then I think that would be a responsible area to debate getting out. So I do have an offer there in the mid-90s. To absorb that, and then hopefully we can. I still want to try that level, but I do think that into tariff, again, we already got that news that tariffs aren't until tomorrow at 4.
Yeah.
So, but again, I'm sure there'll be some talk about all of that as we go. So I'm actually going to take out a little piece right here at 82 if we can get it. There it is. So we take something out. We took out 10% of what we had left right there at 82 for 10 handles. We'll see if we can get some 93s as well. But for right now, we'll hold on to this TQQ position and see if we can get a mid-90 print.
And Sean, I'm telling you, we've talked about it, looking at the odds on ProfitX, and they are absolutely fantastic. So if you want top tier odds and be in total control, ProfitX brings you peer-to-peer picking, open API access for automation, cost-efficient trading of the book. These are books, everybody, with depth as well. Take advantage of it all in one place. It's like day trading your favorite sports. You make offers, match plays, and even manage risk with diverse prediction outcomes. Don't just place picks, exchange them, trade them. ProfitX, the smarter and faster way to play. Users can use the code TRADERTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. And I can tell you, and I know, Sean, you were looking at this as well, you can look at some of these lines and then compare them. A lot of times you are getting very good prices. And the easy way to tell how much open interest you'll have in these books is they have a nice upcoming events and then the most traded. So right now, obviously the Warriors in Memphis is pretty big up there. I know usually you like Golden State. With the NBA, you want to make sure everybody's playing. So I hesitate to say what I think is going to happen in this game because I haven't checked. Who knows? Sometimes Steph Curry just doesn't feel like playing tonight. Sometimes Ja Morant just ain't going. So that changes a lot for the NBA, but in a general sense, all your lines are out there. You can see the available liquidity in the book. You can sit outside the book and hope to get picked up for a better price. Or you can just swipe the available book. If you think you're getting a good deal, you can take 162 all the way out to 164. There's like 73 there. You can swipe all that if you really want. So shout out to ProfitX. I know when the Final Four comes around, we'll be making some plays. Sean, although
futures, yeah.
The fact that it's all number ones,
stocks, but
the fact that it's all the number ones is very disappointing. for the NCAA.
Yeah. I just want to show you something, and again, you could scan that QR code right there. I think you should do it. You get 2% cash back, which is pretty good. But see this? This is the thing that's important that I think anyways. Maybe I could zoom in just a little bit here and show you. So this is, will they win the 2025 National Championship, right? You can get Duke basically even money, yes or no, right now. So minus 108 to minus 109. So, with decent amounts of offer there for price, right? So, again, you don't think Auburn's going to win, minus 700. If you do think they're going to win, plus 560. So it's this no option right there. So if you had Duke from before at, to win at plus 400 or something like that, if you took it maybe in the Sweet 16, or I don't know where they would have been plus 400. But now you can get off the bet. right, by going minus 109 and you know, locking in your bet. So Profit X, scan the QR code right there. Well, now that's not Profit X anymore. That's Trade the Pool. But when you sign up with code TraderTV to get that 2%. So, you know, I think that's a pretty cool offer there. And we wouldn't be talking about it if we didn't like it. And that's what that is. So we do want to thank them for sponsoring. I do gamble a little bit on the spare time, but not much, man. Like $20 here or there. It's pretty small, nice to watch. But here we go, man. Diamond Hand Man is in the building. What's up, A Wheeler, and everybody else that is trading the futures with me. I'm going to take advantage of this little pop right now in said futures, and bang. Nice move. Upside right there. So we'll be happy for that, as there it goes right into our level. We are going to wait for 30s. We'll take a 20 fill right now. If it does go into the 30s, we will take that as well. And yeah, celebrate, man. We told Obi and Sharif not to show too much emotion, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you do celebrate your wins. They are kind of hard to come through. And it's just more about being, you know, like, if the stock goes to your level, that's what we're realizing. Like, sure, it's going to the upside. It's nice to have this win. Obviously, we're going to get emotional when we make some winning trades, and emotional when you make losing trades, but not overly, right? You don't want your emotions to control your trading. That's something completely different. So, you know, we're calm as this is happening. We have our targets. We talked about where our stop was for this play. Remember, breaking through 56.50 or so was going to be one of our last dip buy opportunities, and give it a little bit under that. So now that we're in the money here, about how much, 50 handles, 45 handles. Now we'll wait to see where we go from here. So up to VWAP would be nice. We'll see if it wants to work it out. So it's a nice little move right there for this name. And then I was actually going to talk before. I was saying something about Tesla, and I think maybe you went to Rivian or something, but I just wanted to say, I
took Tesla.
Was it? Okay.
Breaking trend, bottom tail candle.
Yeah, so Tesla I think is fine. Like, okay, there goes the futures good. We just got 30s there, so that was a good trade for us. But anyways, yeah, we said Tesla's had some nice runs into the close, many different closes, many closes. So now that this is starting to go back to the upside here, you could get, again, a nice little run. It didn't look like it did anything yesterday, actually, into the close, but we've seen it.
A couple of days ago.
Yeah, we've seen it go nuts before. So there's the TQs, guys, right there to VWAP. So, you know, Brittany, we did it again.
Commandant Lassad. Many. That's from Police Academy.
Police Academy. I love that. I love the guy that does all the those voices. What was ever his name was there?
Michael.
Yeah, all the sound effects.
Michael, what's his name?
He really did too much else.
Michael something?
Didn't he pass away recently?
No,
he was in something.
No, he's still alive. No, not Michael Cera.
This guy doesn't even know.
No,
Michael
the guy
Cera
from
wasn't
Police
born
Academy
when
that
Police
does
Academy.
the voices and he does all this crazy sounds. He can do. He did Led Zeppelin. He does an electric guitar with his voice. It's ridiculous how talented that guy is. He was on like one of those America's Got Talent shows or something like that a couple of years ago. The guy's super talented. So, anyways,
Michael Warren. Does that make sense?
Not Warren. Is it Michael Wilson? No, Michael Wilson's.
Someone saying
Michael Wilson is. That guy was a dunker on Memphis and on the Globetrotters.
Oh, Michael Wilson? I just remember Wilson from Home Improvement.
Winslow. Yeah. Michael Winslow.
Yeah.
Anyways, look him up. He's incredibly impressive. Very talented.
Mike Winslow.
Mike Winslow. But Commandant Lassard was my second favorite character. He was spot on. Like Everyone it's an old movie, but that guy was just jokes, especially at the podium. You guys know the scene I'm talking about. He was back to Tesla. Just quickly, bottoming tail candle, trend break, going long, prior bar low out, break of VWAP. Want to take profit. Oh, WTF halted down again. So WTF halted down. The tap is now $12. So it's not looking very good for WTF. We've talked about this. Oftentimes, the second one to go is not going to be as good as the first. Like, if you were expecting that WTF was going to be as good as Newsmax, then it's very low probability. The sympathy play is almost never as good as the first. I don't have Newsmax up anymore because I threw WTF up on that chart so I can monitor it. But we're just into Tesla, and there was something else I wanted to get to. It'll come to. Oh yeah, it was IBIT. Remember how strong IBIT was? I just went to Blue Ocean. Our drop-down's alphabetical, and Blue Ocean is the first market that pops up. So that's going to be the overnight. Who cares? IBIT is right back. Look at the crest at that 48.5. It cannot seem to break 48.5. It's just above 85,000, like 85 and a quarter, let's call it. And for whatever reason, we just can't get past it. So with the market bouncing here, I'm have IBIT up. And if we cannot break that on this push up in the market, I'm going to go for a really tight stop short right at 48.50. I had it before and trailed it out. I'd like to take another shot at this just for a scalp trade because the sellers are clearly there on IBIT at 48.5. As I said, it's like 85.3 or something like that on Bitcoin, but on IBIT, it's right at 48.50.
All right. I'm going to try. So we were in JP Morgan earlier. It's fallen down. I was just looking at it right now. Obviously, we would have much rather gotten 242 and change. But just right now, it's trying to retake. I mean, we could, I don't know where it's going to go, but it's trying to retake this 200 period right here on JP Morgan. So what's made a low there, I was thinking that we could get back up to the 50 period, which is well worth the risk right now on that trade. So if we could do anything, even back up to VWAP right now is well worth it. Just thinking about dropping out of this if we break through 50s again. So that was something that I was looking at right now for JP Morgan. So we're just long here at 70s. I just put the stop in through 50. So let's wait to see if that can go. There it goes again, man. We just got some more out at VWAP right now for these TQs as the market's trying to make its way back. So far, so good on that one. We're going to see about the new positions, JP Morgan. So that's really what we're waiting for. And again, look at the spread, a little different, right? The levels aren't, I mean, when you're just looking at this versus anything, NVIDIA, the Qs, anything, like the levels are much more liquid here, much more fluid than you're going to see in a JP Morgan. So that means that we do have to have some orders out so that when it does rip in, or when, if, hope, it rips into some of our levels, we're able to get something out anyways. And now we're not just like caught holding the bag. So we have to stack up a little bit. So let's put some orders here at 90. I just put an offer at 89s, and then we put another offer a lot higher than that. I don't even see. Oh, there it is, a 96. So sorry, my orders are not sorted by
You're not going to believe
alphabetical. What's that? So right now we're in the money.
There's another one.
Yeah, I saw WXM. I know. I saw Tisha there.
Yeah, so Tisha, shout out to you in the chat. There is another IPO that's trying to go.
Isn't that crazy?
And following this pattern, look, we've seen WTF go. We've seen news. I think this one probably ends up with the smallest move. Who knows? But the other ones have gotten to that 100% to the upside. So opened at 11. It's breaking up the highs, going into a halt now. I think wait for the halt for anything to happen because you're still on the upswing. But maybe take profit if you're in this lighter volume. Pretty light volume considering how cheap it is. The $5 one that's barely even gone. So relatively light volume and a late mover, but it's going into a halt in the next. There it goes. It just halted right now. I'd be very, very careful with this. Wow. But yeah, I just can't believe they're just going in succession now. So I feel like anything that IPO'd today has a chance, but I would be more and more skeptical each one of these that crop up out of nowhere. Tesla bounced 69 into VWAP at 70, but can't break VWAP. So it's a very tight range here after that break of trend. So it broke the trend. It's not following through. I don't believe on a trend break you should, like I don't want to be, let's just keep going long off 269. At some point, I think you got to give it up. I'll give it another chance to print down in the high 268, low 269 range and take another fill. But at some point, you just got to start going here. It's not enough that you can just scalp this over and over again. And remember, IBIT, I'm looking for 48.5.
Boom.
I want to see if we can curl at 48.5 on IBIT. We're not there just yet. I got to get the actual price. So Tesla working, WXM in a halt. It's a smaller float than the other ones. I think I mentioned that, like just over 1 million shares float. These things are crazy.
We just got 96s.
Awesome.
Right there on JP Morgan. So far, so good. We'll see if we get, well, we got 86s and 96s. We told you where we were sitting. So we actually got a couple fills right there on JP Morgan out of 40% of it. That's it. So we'll hold for the rest. Yeah, a Wheeler. I'm going to guess your name is Anthony. I have no idea, but there goes the TQs. We just got another piece Wheeler. Out. Yeah, on the. Isn't he a pitcher or something?
No, he was a shooting guard, Anthony Wheeler.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's sports something. There it is, right there, 57.37, right there on VWAP. Sports. So a little out. Sports, go get it. Right there, go get your WWE tickets to see John Cena. Right there, but yeah, 57.30s, 57.40s. We just took some more out. So yeah, I'm not trying to rest on the laurels right now of the longs as we get out. Now we are entering. Hey, where's our power hour, man? We got. Oh, you already did it?
I didn't see it.
I think it should be happening like every 5 minutes until like 3:10. You know, just let people know. Let's do power hour soon again. Thank you. Do you have that so it's scheduled like that every day, or you have to remind? Oh, sick. Oh, it triggers. It
Damien just
So
said.
why can't we just trigger the bell with 10 seconds left? Like every time we're.
That's a good. You know what doesn't make any sense? Why is it the one of us that's at the desk talking to you guys is responsible to hit the countdown button? So like your mind is somewhere else, but you have to remember to hit the countdown with 10 seconds left. It actually should be somebody else hitting the countdown button that doesn't have to worry about it.
It should be a robot. Yeah, where's Optimus just pushing buttons for us? Eventually they're going to trade for us, right? So, all right.
Homer Simpson.
WXM. So crazy, man. Everything. Oh, we already know this is halted. I thought it was reopened again. It's not. WTF. The other one today, Wharton Financial. That's,
WF International. What the F International?
What the F International? WFM International? Like Trader TV Live International IPOing very, very soon. Wow, look at the TQQs. There we go. What's up, Alex Wheeler there? As we continue to go a little bit higher, they're into those levels. So that was a good trade there. 3 p.m. market update. Tesla delivery one, Q1 deliveries expected tomorrow. So we'll have to wait to see what happens on those deliveries. I'm guessing that I thought, based on the move that we had heard early, that there might have been, I don't want to say a leak or anything like that, but maybe something was out there that really got this name going. There it is. Yeah. Power hour, power hour, power hour, power hour. All right, it's too much power, man. There was tariff on power. Tariff on power.
That's what we were threatening. That's what, well, the premier of Ontario was like.
Yeah.
Going to turn off the power.
Yeah, exactly. But no, power. We are powering up right now with JP Morgan. There it goes, right there to the upside goes JPM, so that's going to be a nice one there. The TQs are going higher. I don't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, Tesla. You're in Tesla still. So I think that there is a good chance there.
Just failed the 270 break.
Yep. And I was wondering, like, maybe when I saw this move that potentially someone was thinking real bullish on the release of those numbers, but, you know, it is fading out a little bit right here as well. So let's just wait for JP Morgan, guys. I mean, maybe this does get up to VWAP and we can celebrate this one. So, yeah, so far so good here on JP Morgan.
Yeah, so far so good. But like I said, Tesla just failed 270. So we're in a buck in the money. Didn't get that last reload off 260, like 268.8 is that low. I'm long exactly at 69. If we get another press in here, it's still reverting the trend. It still has that topping tail candle. But I want to see if we get one more shot at a reload. IBIT's having trouble. The market is moving up, and IBIT can't get to 48.5. So it's at 40 right now. The next time it gets up here into the low 40s, I'm just going to take a little shot at 43 and 44, sit on the offer there, get a little bit in just to nibble because that's where the resistance is because we're not getting to that top at 48.5. And that's with the market pressing higher. So we like the short in there. We had it once before. Clearly, it could have worked 2 other times, but we'll take it this, I guess, like the 4th time it's testing this level. Make sure I have my stop in, because if it breaks that wick high that you see at about 150, I'm out of this if we even get into it, because I thought we were popping to give us the short. And as you can see, the pattern is just holding on Bitcoin, where it's reversing in those low 48.40s. It's this 85,000 range. We can't seem to break away from it with any earnesty there. So look, Tesla's still trying to close above VWAP. I think once it's able to do that, then you're having one of those patented Tesla runs in the afternoon. That's the confirmation needed. Like on a 15-minute chart, let me zoom it in for you. On a 15-minute chart, that's a good bottoming tail candle, but there's still no green after. Like there's nothing that great that says we're going on an absolute tear just yet in Tesla. It's just got a great entry point. We're looking for some follow through here on TSLA. What else we got going on here, everybody? Like, let me know if you're seeing something else that's moving. I'm not really paying attention. I threw IBIT up over like WTF and WMX or whatever that other one was. So I'm not really watching them anymore after they've started to fall back in. I feel like once the juice comes out of those, they're pretty much done for the day oftentimes in the last hour. But if you see it going, guys, just let us know. Don't mind popping on over to if it's really moving. Come on, IBIT, let me in.
Yeah, I just want to say we got out of half of JP Morgan, but it could turn out to not be a profitable trade, I guess, if we do wind up breaking. So here it comes right back in again. So a good outs, we talked about where we were getting out, 243. So a couple decent ones there, as our stop was going to be a break of 244.50 to 242.50. So about 1-to-1, hoping to get a little bit more. Yeah, I could see a little bit of a fade through here, you know, on the NASDAQ. We just failed that VWAP. We tried to go. We definitely took advantage of that by getting out of primarily everything on our trade there for the TQs. We're still in it, though. We're still in about 15%, I would say, maybe a little bit less than that right now. So I'm going to get out of another couple percentage points here at 22, so we'll take that. And then I'm thinking, yeah, maybe short until we break that period there, but I don't want to get too back and forth here. I just thinking about what people will be positioned tomorrow. Like when I'm trying to think, like when I come in tomorrow, where would I be surprised if the market was up or down? Or I would still think down with everything that's going to be hitting the news tonight, and like tomorrow's the day. But sometimes when it's groupthink, it goes completely the other way around. So let's wait. I still think we could short the market for sure if we get back up into this area, the 200 period moving average, which is sort of where we dropped out of right there. So if we can get a short back into here, then yeah. So we tried the long there, only once caught it at the bottom. We didn't even, this was perfect. We caught this one almost exactly at that bottom for that move back up. So we were trying to wait for, again, more back into here, but we're not going to get that, it doesn't look like. So if we do, that's fine. Right now, JP Morgan is coming back, so that's going to be on number one on my mind there. I've already called it liquidation day, so you know, we'll see if that happens tomorrow. Shout out to their Positively Pup.
Positively.
Yeah, Positively Pup. Definitely get. Oh, DraftKings. I want to check out them because they were on a free fall yesterday, back down. Has they recovered a little bit today? No. I mean, again, wow, early flush there on DraftKings. I mean, some of these beat up stocks like a Palantir or a DraftKings, what goes up must come down, all that kind of nice stuff there will get hit early every single day, it seems like. And then the move happens, and then look at that. Double base bottom again at 82 for Palantir. Wow. Okay, that was something to look for there. PLTR definitely gave us that bottom one more time there at 82. So that's another name right there that we should be looking at. So Tesla deliveries, I know you're still, I don't know if you're in Tesla, I can't see it. But
no, it's holding under VWAP. So
I'm interested for tomorrow, man. That
look, it didn't hold. It might still go, but topping tail at 270. I just covered it when it broke 269. I don't want to be down on Tesla when it's not going. Like, look at that reversal candle and a trend break. That's the kind of thing that should go right away. And I look over, it's like the thing I went away from. Because look, Tesla is going to give you more of an opportunity than Amazon. That's just the nature of the game. Percentage-wise, it's going to move more. It's a little bit more volatile. So when it's setting up, I'm gonna prefer it to Amazon. And I'm up on Tesla and not up on Amazon, mostly because of the short this morning. But this is holding VWAP in higher low, so it just looks a little bit better. So I want to go back to there. Unless Tesla can hold above 270 or break above 270, I want to look at something at least a little bit stronger. Brenworks and, oh, LM, I knew there was a stock. Thank you very much, LM. It was COREWEAVE. And I think there's been so much talk of all of these other IPOs that are going absolutely nuts that you forget that COREWEAVE is up 25%. And this is not, like, it's not ridiculous and it's not crazy. You can say the valuation might not make a lot of sense, but these guys are, look, personally, I'd rather just own NVIDIA than COREWEAVE, but NVIDIA is a big shareholder. They're not selling. A lot of insiders are probably not going to sell. It's kind of similar to ARM, where they'll probably just hang on to it for a while, and it's breaking out the high of the day. This is a more reasonable vehicle to trade in, let's just say. You know, it's not really halting every two seconds. Liquidity is a little bit better. You can see most of the standard ways that you would watch a stock, observe breakouts and pullbacks, all in the pocket when it comes to COREWEAVE. Could see that $50 today. This is more reasonable. Pull back and try to find one of these bottoming tails and go for a parabolic move there. I like this COREWEAVE, breaking out the highs. Good look. Adara?
Yeah,
news?
so to Apple.
Keep an eye here on, there's some Apple news here. Apparently, the U.S. labor watchdog is holding its Apple cases after Donald Trump picked the company's lawyer for a top job. So now this labor watchdog is apparently holding its investigations into Apple after apparently the lawyer from the group was picked for a job there by Donald Trump. So keep an eye on that. Also, META was actually the reason I did this throw as well. Keep an eye on this one. Apparently, they're starting to work on their second generation of their Meta glasses. And before we send you back to the guys, I want to highlight our April 2nd events calendar for tomorrow. 4 p.m., This speech here that Donald Trump is going to be giving at the Rose Garden is highly expected to be his tariff announcement. Again, we cannot confirm for sure, but the reports are that the tariff announcement will happen at the Rose Garden, and Donald Trump is definitely set to speak at the Rose Garden tomorrow at 4, so keep an eye on that. We'll get Fed's Kugler at 3:30, and keep an eye on this optical fiber communications event tomorrow. Broadcom, AMD, Cisco, Juniper, Marvell, all set to attend, so OFC 2025 could be a big one to watch out for. Also, we're currently just having a Senate Judiciary Committee meeting on antitrust and big tech. I'm listening to it right now. Nothing market moving, but Apple's AI has been targeted quite a lot with regards to its perceived lack of quality there, specifically with regards to their Siri rollout issues. Back to you.
I mean, yeah, valid point there. All of a sudden now all their cases have been a little bit dismissed here, or at least paused, not dismissed. So, yeah, now we'll wait to see as Apple just like... not doing much. I mean, the futures are going now, so shout out to the longs that are still in the building because we're starting to go back upside a little bit here. I'm going to get to, okay, there it is. We just offered 49s, of course, and got ran over, so that was great. There it goes, man. It's going to be a nice win for us. It is now 78 handles in the money now. We basically have that bottom again. So there it goes. Okay, so Meta glasses look like they're north of 1,000 we're hearing in our ears for those Meta glasses. So Sharif will be lining up for those. And then we have to wait because 580 down there. We talked about Meta, how we like that there today. It's now outperforming the market. I'm not sure, you guys, those of you that have been, wow, JP to the mother M right now. Nice move to the upside right there as we're trying to go. Come on, JP Morgan, let's go. See if we can get a nice move. There it is. We get those 10s. Now, as that just made a move out of nowhere back up to the upside. So let's go, man. Good position on here for JP Morgan again as that's trying to go. I don't even have an offer right now. I have to have something at VWAP. I guess we should look back at that. But yeah, no, Apple and Meta, you know, again, I was talking to Randy and he's like, he's got to get some money in. He was mad that he missed Rivian, that bottom at 1020 that he was looking for. And I said, you know what? I mean, if you're sitting on some money, you're uncertain what to do, but you know, you think the bottom's in, maybe just, or I just told him buy some NASDAQ because, you know, the NASDAQ, if Rivian's going to work and Tesla and all that are going to work, I feel like, I don't want to say hiding out in the NASDAQ, but maybe you do get a little bit of a bump up there because we were talking about like earnings season coming through and it's kind of like look at what sectors you may want to be involved with. He really likes Rivian, so maybe the NASDAQ's not a great play, but I don't know. I was just thinking overall.
I mean, he likes cars, he knows cars, so I think he sticks with
there has to be a car ETF, but I guess that would be getting destroyed.
Well, that's the problem. He doesn't like the normal autos. He just likes the shot play in the EVs that's in Rivian that's beaten up. Like Randy was telling us how bad the inventory issues are for Stellantis. And you pull up a chart, it's like Stellantis looks like crap. I was just looking at Meta because of that story. Meta's going to close above the 200 period moving average today. Almost for sure. Anything can happen in the last 40 minutes of the day, but let's just say we're holding the 200 period moving average on Meta. If I hadn't already bought the dip on Meta, I'd be buying it today. No questions asked, but I already have. Right now I'm looking at Amazon, which is holding above VWAP. A little bit of a higher low situation being put in on Amazon. I want to see if we can enter this back into this off power. It couldn't give you more than 40, 50 cent scalp trades the whole way through. But even if it's going to stair step up like this, then we'll play buying the dips and holding into some of those highs. Your small cappers and your gappers and your WTFs going into the end of the day, they're still moving. WTF trying to press back into the high. Sellers at 15. So that quick trade that I was talking about before where you have to be an absolute sniper is break of the halt price, which is like 15.30. So breaks 15, breaks a fresh high, and like instantly fails it, and then you try to get a quick retracement through 15 with a stop at whatever wick high it makes. So you have to be on that level too. You have to have it up there. But just watching WTF, I'm not trying to go long. I think if I can find something that quick, I take the shot at it and just try to scalp it. Like this candle did the same thing, went all the way down to 13 bucks. So you were like, if you got the fill, you hit bid enter, you're making $1 on WTF. I'm going to imagine it wasn't easy to get the fill. If it does happen again, that's what I'm watching, in addition to Amazon off of VWAP. Norman Special, SoFi also closed, holding its 200 period moving average. But I'm not buying any more SoFi on my personal account. Not until, like if I buy more SoFi, it'll be in the back half of the year. I'm trying to have extreme patience with names like that this year.
Yeah, so far, yeah, I think that's about right.
Extra patience.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, these stocks, I'm going short now on the TQs. So, all right, so a complete turnaround now based on that. We did have a nice little candle there to the upside, potentially of a wick that I just want to see. It was a nice little blowout there. It went to the top. Now it's starting to fade back out. So we'll get out of our, I mean, it's a good trade, man. We'll spin the money. Like we had made that money back there on the TQQs. I don't mean that. I mean, we had lost there, then we had got money, like we went long, and now we're just looking to go short again. You know, the 200 period is coming down. That's going to be our stopping area. So I think for right now, for 80 cents worth of risk here on the TQQs, being underneath, being sort of at VWAP right now, we're short 42.5. Got my teeth. Short 42.5, so I don't actually mind what we're looking at right now. For this, joined myself and Brian Shannon and Adara, of course, on the After Hours show where I was just looking, I
can't wait to hear his thoughts on stuff like Newsmax.
Exactly. I'm going to ask him about all those recent IPOs. I kind of have a feeling I know what he's going to say. But we'll wait for Newsmax, yeah, CoreWeave, and WTF and WXM.
I mean, more so CoreWeave, like a traditional
Yeah,
IPO
more so CoreWeave. At least CoreWeave has a couple for him, a couple days under its belt, right? So we'll be able to not aggressively, but look at some levels and give us maybe some highs or lows of what he's looking at there. So, all right. I'm just gonna wait for that next level. If you come over to the TQs, my next short, we're just in this right now. We're out 6 handles, no deal right here. But 57.65 is where we're gonna go now. A little bit ahead of that. Let's go to 57.60s. We'll get some shares on board there. Average up into that wick, and then just see if it does that again. Look, it could hit here, continue up there, and then honestly, our long would be that 100 handles, but we're out of it. So in order to not get thrown around too much, it is 321 right now. And just thinking again, the NASDAQ is up today. The ES is flat today. Maybe we do hover around here with my thought. There's 19.5. Again, if we break that, we'll have to get out. But staying underneath here should be something that I'm thinking about, and we'll try that. So on that being the case, it'll be tough for the futures to work, and so as JP Morgan to work. So I think we should put some out there. So there we go. We cross down. We get some out at 07s, 08s right there. Another out for us on JP Morgan. Not everything's going to work. If the futures go up, fine, but let's get some more out there. I'm actually going to cross down to 03s, 02 half there we actually wind up getting. So out some more there on JP Morgan. We now only have, I was going to say, percentage points, about 15% left. We're hearing that Newsmax is
240.
Jeez.
Also, WTF is halted up 300%. It's halted at
WTF is up with that.
1595 with a top of 1680. So WTF is gone. Newsmax is gone. 250 in play here. Mr. Westermeyer.
No way, Westermeyer.
Get out of here, bro. Come on, son.
He did not.
You're in 500 shares at 1401 hodl. I mean, honestly, like I know it's April Fool's Day, but we don't believe you. I appreciate you. We love you, brother. For anyone that doesn't, look, man, he got us our Magic 8-ball. Had a chance to go to dinner. He visited us here at the floor. Great dude. We appreciate you, brother. That's a great one. But how many people are you gonna see? What you've got to say there?
I mean, I'm only long 100.
No, you got to. If you're gonna try to fool us, you got to say that you were long at like you longed it today at like 90, or where was it? You had 90 something. Like if you told me like 120, you told me you bought it at 120 today, you probably would have got me, brother. Trust me. If you said like 120, 125, I'd be like, oh crap, you just got to double up. I'd have believed you. But 1401, come on, son. When you're tricking somebody on April Fools, you've got to come with the goods and make it a little more realistic. But I appreciate it. I thank you for the super chat there. As we said, WTF halted. Newsmax didn't halt when it just made that fresh high, but it is going to the upside. Yeah, actually, since the down halt, it hasn't had a halt since 215. It's doing a pretty good job staying open, everybody. So good look for anyone if that's your cup of tea. I'll just leave it at that. I said we don't want to get trapped on overnights and that sort of thing. And I was willing to take a fail break on WTF. It just didn't happen. When it broke 15s, I was on the level 2. I had an order ready to go that if it broke back underneath 15, I was going to punch short, throw a quick stop, and I would have taken a very quick short trade back through 15 to scalp it out because it worked a couple times. but when it just goes through clean, you don't touch it.
Right.
And for those that are, like if you tried shorting this like in a traditional
JP
way,
Morgan.
like what happens if you're just sitting there, you have a stop, let's say your stop misses and it goes into a halt, or you use a limit stop or something. It's just incredibly dangerous, everybody. It should be a 5-minute halt here for WTF as it continues to go and go.
Yeah, like WTF's up with that. But okay, so just real quick, man, look at JP Morgan. It's too bad. It's not too bad at all, actually, because the futures really are moving, but the win that we have on JP Morgan is outpacing it right now. So although we should not have gotten as much out here at the 20s as we did, we just got 30s and we just got 50s right now on JP Morgan. So this name right here, 80 cents in the money, straight fire to the upside. So 80 cents right there, and we took it, you know, we held it. We were pretty responsible with it. Nice trading there for JP Morgan as it goes back to Greensville. Well, hopefully the market will get back to Greensville for JP Morgan, still underwater on that. All right, so as we move, we started the short there. That was pretty small. You could see our average price right now is 56s. So we've put on more shares up here where we wanted it to. Alex and company out there, looks like we convinced ourselves to go short and we should not have. We were net long, so sometimes, again, get carried away a little bit. It's still responsible for my own trades, but we should have probably stuck with sort of the gut there and stayed long and got out. But our average price is still fine at 56. If I really don't like this trade, I can just get out right now for a sneeze, but we'll hold on, see if it works. We just had a little bit of a better price. That's all really. As we come into that play right there, 57.80. 57.80, a nice level there. What time was this at? 10:30. So that was that dip buy opportunity there, and we almost got it again right there. So, all right, I'm pretty happy with it. As you can see, the reason why we're breathing a little sigh of relief is we still have this. So 57.80, this is where we want the shares, man. A break above the top of this, 58, we're gone, which will put us red on the TQs if that goes. Because again, we're trying it here. This will be like a 40 handle hit, so we will not be happy with that if it does come out. So yeah, so far so good here into the close. Have to wait for it, but we're not stopped out. We're not even close. We're out right now, 7 handles. So we'll wait for that play to come back in. A really good out there, a couple outs there on JP. So have to be happy with that if that fades back in. I really hope that fades back up there. Thanks, Ramin. We did hear that, Ramin, so that's all good. But here we go back down to the downside. 57.80 coming through. Ramin, we do hear what Ramin's saying. She never tells me to check my hair because my hair is all messed up, of course. Yeah, no problem.
I could use that heads
Yeah,
up.
I could. Yeah, next
My
time.
hair is an absolute mess. I need a haircut.
I'm still waiting for someone to sponsor.
Everyone's rocking these clean fades.
Anybody in Turkey over there, man? I could get some hair transplants going on there.
Yeah, that's that ish. I'm never doing that. Just
no, I don't.
No, I'm not doing that.
I feel like that would. I don't know. I feel like that would hurt.
Bald. I'll just go.
Anyways,
I'll go that route first. But it doesn't hurt, does it?
I think it does. I think it's a pretty major.
Is it really?
I think.
Oh
so.
hell no!
Yeah,
man.
I think
Why?
it is.
You gotta just embrace it.
TSAI tomorrow? Is that what's up, Sebastian?
TSAI?
Isn't that a stock? Isn't that
what is happening?
Isn't that a solar stock?
Well, what about CSAI?
Cloud structure. Oh wow, they're getting crushed.
They report?
No, I mean they're up today.
Do they report tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't know anything.
No, it came all the way back. CSAI. It's right back to where it started on CSAI.
Yeah.
What was the news there?
What's the name of this pattern? Some people call it a Christmas tree. They call it the Christmas tree pattern. I don't know why, but I've just heard people say that. Right back into CSAI. So, hey, maybe it wants to catch a little bit of a bid off the bottom. I don't know, and I don't think we'll be trading it. Newsmax is about to break 200. Newsmax already broke 250. Anyways, Amazon now range bound, finding resistance at the 191.75 range. So I'm going to scalp into VWAP and try to scalp out of it as well. As Newsmax, broke 250 and now trying to re-break the $250 level. Just keeps on going higher and higher and higher. Sometimes you'd put a trend break for this, but not going to try that. It's also COREWEAVE that's also breaking highs, by the way.
That was another name.
COREWEAVE is, I feel like Undercover having a really good day on COREWEAVE, but I'm not in it. Still trying to get IBIT short. Whatever. Like IBIT, Might just, it's 3:30 now. Unless
Getting
there's a
close, man.
unless there's a
Damn.
pop in the next 5 minutes to fill me, like I'm trying to get the actual wick high. If I don't get filled in the next 5 minutes, I'll just cancel IBIT and we're not going to get this trade. Got to look for it another way. There's no trend break to happen here. I'm not really sure an entry that I'm going to get that wasn't off of that resistance there for IBIT. Ooh, shoot. NMAX just pulled back in there. I'm going to go back over to that WTF. You know how badly I want to
Get down, you son of a...
You know what?
Okay.
If this loses the bid, this could be the curl.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yes, sir. Let's go. We did flip up our opinion here on the NASDAQ. We just got 43s out right there. So we got some 45s, some 43s out as we just went downside there. So those were some real good fills right there. So yeah, I like that. Maybe we get a little bit lower into 57.29. Tonight is my son's first basketball game and my daughter's first volleyball. So it just continues, and I just got a note. Her season is already starting late April for next year's hockey. Never stops, man. We have hockey.
The season doesn't end.
We have Friday hockey practice. Then we have a game in Peterborough, which is only an hour and a half away on Saturday. And then we have another game in Ajax on Sunday. And then she practices again on Monday. And then volleyball is now every Wednesday. What day is today? I don't even know what date it is. Every Tuesday, we just started her on that. And we just got our High Park baseball schedule in. That is 3 times a week. And that is without my responsibility, which is I'm assistant coaching the house league team and head coaching, of course, the rep team. And that goes without saying that that's going to be a pretty big commitment as well. So shout out to everybody that is committed right now. Especially a lot of, I might commit myself, if you know what I mean, but that are committed right now to springtime sports.
We're lucky. We only have 2 things right now.
Yeah, there's a lot
We only have
happening.
basketball start, which literally just started. Like she had basketball for the second time yesterday, which they do. It's like a drill thing. It's not games. They actually have like a small hoop out. They're just working on basic skills. Like what I love about my daughter here is that when your goal is to practice your dribbling, do one hand or do back and forth. I want you walking up and down the gym. It's not about speed or a race. All the other kids are just like all over the place and just trying to go as fast as they can. She's working on her dribbling,
good. Yeah.
which is, it's huge because she was never that kind of a kid. She was always just trying to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. Gymnastics was a mess because of that. She always tried to do things quickly. It's my fault. My wife and I both ran track and field, so speed is our game. Gymnastics is not about that. But I love that she has. I think basketball, I hope she still loves baseball, but she's really immediately loving basketball.
Yeah, whatever you're passionate about, that's the...
Oh, the cool thing is one of our neighbors has a rim they put up out in the street, the kids playing
Right.
on. And then my guy across the street, one of my neighbors
Street
across
ball.
the street, he's also got
Futures.
another one out there, so I don't have to buy one. So bouncing off VWAP is Amazon. I was eyeballing WTF,
Jeez.
but WTF, look, the setup's not perfect, and I'm not going to short that thing unless it's absolutely right. It's just too crazy to do it. So Amazon, I'm looking for 192 quarter. We just scalped off VWAP again. It just keeps on bouncing, but it's giving you like 40, 50 cent moves. There's no big move off the bid yet. At 330, we should have double checked the early look imbalances.
Oh, that's
Reminded
right,
myself of
yeah.
that now. Nothing. Whoops. Nothing really. There we go. GM, small sell 1.4, Pfizer 1.2 to buy. Those are the only early looks. I'd expect at 350 we could see some movers. Remember, yesterday was the first day of the month, so you got a lot of those big orders coming through. It was Apple 5 million, NVIDIA 5 million, I believe, as well. I wouldn't expect the same thing today. Most of that is because it was the first of the month. If you see it again today, great, but just don't expect that. End of the month, first of the month, you're going to see stuff like this. I'm looking to get a break of 192. I'm getting out on this late day rally because I'm a little skeptical in how much follow through we're going to have. How much follow through do you think you're going to have in a rally going into Tariff? I almost said Tariff Tuesday, but tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah.
What do we call it again? Liberation Day. You said liquidation day. Let's go.
call it like
liquidation day. You think, how far do you think we'll rally?
myself here.
Go step by step. I'm
Right
getting
now.
out on this break of 192.5 and just taking the profit. And I'm going to have another look at that WTF. It has to be a really clean setup through a prior high. Ideally a halt price. It's not giving it to you yet. Even though it wicked 17. I was about to pull the trigger and I was like, nah.
Get down, you For you guys, no. I mean, this is I'm loaded up now for this. I have many shares as I'm comfortable with. We did take a fill here. Our punch out is just above 58. So we're short right now at 77s. So we're going to try to take a bid here if we could take a little bit of pressure out, because we almost busted through $58 right there, which is close enough, man. And like, this is a little bit of a pullback. I do want to take out 15% if we can get filled at 57.80 right here, just to take a little bit of pressure off. But we are falling back in. Okay, finally. Whew. Right there. I'm going to get in trouble for doing that. I apologize. But yeah, hopefully we do make a little bit of a move down in and we can get some more out. But that was a decent cover, at least, to get out of some of that as we try to save some of our day. A little disappointed in myself. I did get a little carried away looking at the chat a little bit there and just talking myself into, like, people don't want to be in a position heading into tariffs, but I don't. The market is up and we had broke through VWAP. Probably should have looked at that a little bit more instead of zooming out and looking at the futures and saying, well, maybe this is the top. We just didn't wait good enough. I mean, I'm happy with the price that we have right now, 80s, and that's what we've always had. But at the end of the day, it looks like it wants to break a little bit higher. It just bounced again off the 200 period. That might have been the stop zone right there, 75. You know, we broke above it. Yeah, so now the market's starting to go higher. I mean, look, hallelujah. It's at least we're getting a little bit of saving here from JP Morgan, as that went $1 in the money. So we could celebrate it, but at the end of the day, we just didn't really respect this long as much as we should have. You know, we took advantage of it with JP Morgan, but we are going to give some back, all of it back, as I said, and go red here on the TQs as we continue to bust a little bit higher there. 58.05, if we break that, then we will get out of the TQQs. And if you want to look at this losing trade in more detail, then I think you should subscribe to eSignal right there. Scan that QR code below and get involved with eSignal as, yeah, there it goes. We got stopped out there. Okay, yeah, over 50 plus brokers you can connect to right there on eSignal. I still think I might want to go short. Back testing, all of that, again, different markets. I think that's the biggest thing for right now as we talk about strength in other markets. You may want to entitle yourself to Japan. Any of the markets that you want to look at gives you that opportunity. Blue Ocean, anything, the best charting platform available, all of the data, go get it. It's eSignal. You can scan that QR code there and you will be able to get free 1 month. So there it goes, eSignal. Make it yours today. I'm going to get back into that short there. We just got stopped out of that trade to that high side. I wonder if it was just like a little bit of a late day run, but we don't want to be too stubborn here because we do have those imbalances, right? And that was another thing that as you get closer and closer to the end of the day, you will come into some imbalances. So just be careful of those plays. It could really bust one way or the other. We could use that recent high where we're stopped out at 58.10 as our next area, but we're going to go short right now, see if we can get a little bit back, short 97s, bidding 86s. And then a little bit lower, but one last salvo there, one last chance to take a kneel word. You had to take a kneel word there. Yeah, I was giving the credit there at the end, but one last try there because futures are one of those things. I'm a little bit upset there. We should have stayed long. I mean, look where we were long. We were long right there, and then we got out thinking like, oh, we're gonna fade, and we didn't fade at all. We kept on ripping. So yeah, good out there on JP Morgan as we got the majority of it out as it ripped. Did not expect it to move down, but it did do that. JP Morgan right now back inside. Let's see if we get a bid here on the futures. A little disappointed with the way we traded that at the end of the day.
I just got out of Amazon here. Bit of a top until it got into the resistance spot. Eyeballs on WTF. I think I want one shot at WTF if it does it. So this 192 quarter that it got into didn't quite print up there, but the second we closed underneath that prior bar, when it got into this range, I moved my trail from break even to a breakdown underneath 192 even. So the last, what might be, we'll see, you never really know. Maybe you get a VWAP bounce on Amazon back at 191, but WTF has now found resistance at 17. So what it did is it made a high last time, wicked the high, and then failed. So it's already done it once. I'm looking for a second shot. Like it goes up, tries to break the high of the day, barely goes anywhere, comes back underneath 17. I try to hit 1690. If I get filled, I get filled. I throw a stop at the prior high, which is 1740. Then it's 50 cents worth risk plus slippage. So that's the setup I'm looking for. It's still got time that it can make a press. If it's past 350, I won't trade the stock. And the biggest reason for that is just that if they halt it, it doesn't open until 4 o'clock, and then you're dealing with the aftermarket. So I wouldn't try to put a play on in the last 10 minutes. I want that to happen before the imbalances. So that's going to be the plan of action if we get any movement. I like the fact that it's starting to go sideways, so it's running out of steam on volume. So if it tries one last gasp and fails it, I'm looking for that quick reversion trade. I was just saying to Sean under my breath that Tesla, it tried to go a second time. Like I was in it, flatted it after the second refill. It's still holding under VWAP and not really moving. Like it's not a lot of movement for Tesla. It needs to start going. When you get late day rallies in Tesla, I don't know if I can find an example of it. It's probably a couple of days ago.
It's getting too late.
Like this is what it looks like when Tesla's doing the late day rally. Like you're breaking out and you're just trending higher. So that doesn't happen soon. I think Tesla breaking above and holding above 270 is pretty much gonzo. But let's see what can happen with this WTF. I want to just take one shot. I did pay for locates on this, by the way. They were not free.
Oh yeah, no.
Not that you should try to go short just because you paid for the locates. It's a sunk cost. It's just I like the setup. It worked when I didn't get it. I want to see if I can get it on a failed break of 17. That's all.
Might be a little too late here to trade these futures. So quick stop now. We're short rate here at $58. If it goes, I mean, it's 19.5, right? We talked about that with the NASDAQ. We've already broken above it. That was that area that we said probably should have been the stop. Was not really expecting this kind of a move, but we have to be careful right now into the close. We've seen these imbalances really pop the market. And even the thing is, like, we're just getting too close to the release of these. So it's just very volatile. The volume is picking up like crazy right now, I feel like, in the NASDAQ. So just watch out now. It's starting to get excited here. I don't know if there's going to be, we had that story about Apple. We're going to get stopped out. If this takes out 58.15s, I think is what we had written down there. Here, just put it in anyways, 58.16 break to the high side. That's just where some of these wicks have gone to. So if we break above that, then it'll be a 16 handle hit, which is fine. But again, it will be on a decent sized position. So sucks at the end of the day to take that, because if you have 20% of your position and you win 100 handles, right, that's the same as losing like 20 cents on your maximum position. Right, and so it's kind of the same for that one as whoopsies as the TQQs are making that move. And the closer we get, it's 341, 342 right now. The closer you get to those releases coming out, the more this is going to get whippy. It could even be a sell imbalance, and it just some algo or something wicks high and takes you out, and then you're stopped out. So you got to be careful here heading into the close. Should be a lot of volume. Not only that, man, it's the first of the month. So wake up, wake up, wake up.
Grab your check and
it's
move
the first
on.
of the month. So
Underrated.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful right there with the Bone Thugs and Harmony coming
Easily
through.
their better song. Everyone likes Crossroads. First of the month was their
Yeah,
I thought that was their best song for
yeah,
sure.
This is gonna be
Look,
bad.
obviously, this has been. We just had in the chat. People are saying it's an IPO kind of week. I think you're right. I just looked in NMAX. Newsmax is back at 240. You're starting to see WTF go again, so it's trying to press into 17. Only a couple of minutes until like 7 minutes till we get the imbalances, everybody. And once it's in that pocket, I'm not going to even try trading this. Good question in the chat. I believe we have an answer for you, Filippo. There is a set time when tariff news are going to be released. Well, as brought to you by Adara, and thank you and shout out to Adara. We're supposed to hear tomorrow at 4 at 4. So at the end of the trading session tomorrow, that'll make for a fun aftermarket show, everybody. We're going to get that update on tariffs. They should go in. They're supposed to go into effect right away.
Yeah.
I did hear the pharma tariffs, however, might not get announced. That's one thing that President Trump was saying. You might not hear anything on the pharma tariffs specifically. And then the auto ones are supposed to come on the 4th, right? Like they go into effect on the 4th.
Auto tariffs. So yeah, again, yeah, we'll wait. And the thing about that is, yeah, it doesn't probably, smart move there, doesn't really want to release those tariffs heading into the market open, right? Like if the market's going to be open, might be a little dramatic there, but yeah, I don't know if he really cares too much about that. All right, so there's the last fail there for that. It's nice to see JP Morgan going up, but the TQs do continue their move higher into the close. Really too bad that, well, not too bad. I mean, it's nice that the NASDAQ's going higher for sure. But yeah, it stopped out there as we averaged into the short, and there it goes, blowing through the top. So will April be a bullish month? I don't know historically if it is or not. It seems like it's getting off to a decent start.
I always thought it was pretty decent, relatively.
Oh, JP Morgan.
But this is a different situation. Like, we don't usually, like, the thing about that seasonality stuff, it's great, but how many times are you going into an April coming back off of back-to-back 20% years in the NASDAQ, and then the worst quarter since 2022, and then tariffs coming in? Like, there's just so many things when you look at it historically. Well, one of these things is not like the other. So I don't mind the overall notion of seasonality. I try not to use it too much because every situation is a little bit different. And got to try to respect it. Okay, so WTF doesn't look like it wants to run those highs at all. So it's only 5 minutes to go till the imbalances. Maybe there'll be like an imbalance trade, something along those lines. I just saw Trader Forever. Can you even get borrows on NMAX? I can tell you they are available here at Real Trading. When I last checked, they were $64 a share. $64 for 100 shares, sorry. At one point, they were $96 for 100 shares. They came down to 64. But yeah, if I wanted to, I could trade, like I could get them. But I can tell you it was absurdly cheaper to have locates on WTF than NMAX. Obviously, it's a cheaper stock. So I didn't pay for locates on Newsmax, about to break 250. You just say COREWEAVE's going again?
Yeah, I mean, I just bought it through $50. It was a $50 break.
50?
Yeah, I mean, up 35%. Well, I'm only going to try to hold this 25 cents.
That stock is
25 cents. So if it does break, then we're going to get out of COREWEAVE. But there it goes, man, into the close. Worth it a little bit? I don't know. I mean, there's size here. We're going to see what happens. There could be an imbalance on it. I don't know. I just wanted the 50 break. The previous high, the better trade was taking the previous high, not making new highs. But at the end of the day, let's see what happens with COREWEAVE. Still trying to go higher. 49.50 is going to be there. So we'll wait. I mean, maybe we get $1 out of this at the end, and that would be nice. Make a little bit of money back there on this move. But we're going to stop out if it breaks too much below sort of this last wick there, 49.80s or so. If we break below that, then we'll get out. We'll get out of 75% of that trade and see if we can get higher, right? COREWEAVE into the close, trying to see if it does want to weave its way higher. But, and it doesn't. Oh, we're still in it. We're still in it. It hasn't done anything yet. COREWEAVE right now trying to come back in. So CRWV, we just got stopped out of that 75%. So here it is, fading out a little bit now. COREWEAVE right back into that level there. So yeah, possible play into the close for CRWV, up 34% today. Off of yesterday's imbalance.
That other one's halted down, WX.
Oh, okay, so they're starting to give it up now?
Oh, there's a Toronto stock also, WXM, which kind of tripped me up because I hit enter and went there. WXM, remember the third one? Halted down under VWAP, gave up almost the entirety of the move. The other thing that's happening, it's only 3 minutes till the imbalances come through, but NMAX, Newsmax is now it just pressed 250 again and tried to break it without going. So there's a chance. I feel like if this loses the bid, then that WFT, which that's the one I'm watching. What is...
These IPOs have been nuts today.
It's WTF.
It's WTF and WFM.
So this one's still trying to break and fail that's 17. There's so little time till the imbalances come in 2 minutes. But I'm still sort of eyeballing this one shot. Either that or it's going to be an imbalance trade. I don't think there's anything expected today. There's like a buyout delete, but that's about it. So that probably doesn't move much. Try to take a couple cents on those. If I see it, I might take it. But WTF on a 17 fail. If it doesn't happen in 2 minutes, it's not going to happen at all. JF Trader, is that a torpedo batch you were holding? Hey, I'm not holding. Oh, on this thing?
Torpedo bat.
I hit? Yeah, not really.
Kind of. No, it's not. It's not. No, it's bigger at the end there.
You know what? They're legal.
Traditional bat, Neil.
The MLB says that anyone can use them, and the Yankees aren't the only. What's funny about it is the Yankees aren't the only ones using this bat. They're just the only ones hitting 9 home runs in a game. So everyone talks about the Yankees.
Well,
like other teams are using it.
The Orioles hit 6 home runs against us opening day. Just to say.
I'm trying not to remember that.
I don't know if those were torpedo bats.
I was there, and it was not fun watching your team getting absolutely shellacked. Let's go to Adara at the desk. I believe we have some news.
Keep an eye on AXP, Visa, and MasterCard. This is AXP. This is a look here at Visa, and here is MA. None of them reacting too much, but the Wall Street Journal reporting that American Express is apparently bidding to be named both the network and the issuer for an Apple credit card. So Wall Street Journal reporting that AXP looking to be the network and the issuer for an Apple card. Back to you.
Okay, good look. Thank you very much there, Adara. So less than 1 minute to go. All right, not going to happen, Newsmax.
For me.
Looking for that fail trade off the high. It's just too late in the day. We'll have to look at the imbalances now. I'm going to throw up NVIDIA because it usually has a big imbalance. Never really know what's going to come out with 30 seconds to go. The only early look over 1 million is General Motors. And I can tell you from experience, typically speaking, GM, Pfizer, names like that, they are very apt to pair off and not be very significant. So unless those come out much bigger than what they are, I think you're looking for something on NVIDIA. Yesterday, you had Apple at 5 million to the buy side. Unlikely you'll see any of those squeeze names have an imbalance. If memory serves, I don't think I've ever seen a recent IPO have an imbalance until you get to like an index action. So imbalance is about to drop. Now, AMCR. Okay, so just everybody here, this is a buyout that is closing at 132 cash. So unless you're shorting it at 98.99 and trying to take 5 or 10 cents, then you're not really going to do much of anything with that trade. I might do. We'll see what happens. Nothing here. I mean, nothing over 1 million except for Ford, 1.5 million.
Yeah,
so the imbalances are, yeah, they're a little light. That is an understatement. So very light on the imbalances, unfortunately. Intel, 800,000 to buy is the only name that we remotely look at usually.
All right, let's go COREWEAVE right now, man. We've got a big one on right here for COREWEAVE. So, boom, finally. All right. Big one, obviously. We got out of some JP. Okay, COREWEAVE. Okay, COREWEAVE. Long right now at 49.20s. So a nice little $1.60 in the money. Can we get higher? Yes, we can. Let's see if we can break through. We are waiting for 98s. I don't really know why we're there, but actually we're at 95s. My bad. There's the fill on COREWEAVE. Wow, okay, diamond hands on this one, at least as, all right, what a difference a trade makes there into the close. Now $2 in the money now on CRWV. JP Morgan also starting to go. Stopped out of the TQs, man. That was bad trade. But we got COREWEAVE. It is starting to go a little bit higher there for us now as we go. But yeah, nice trading there. JP Morgan got a bunch out, but 51 and change. Let's get some more out here. Again, I don't know. I don't know where this is going into the close. There probably was. What am I saying? Might have been an imbalance on CRWV. That's actually what I meant to look for. So, yeah, I don't know. We can sort it by symbol and see if it's there. Hold on, just bear with me for a second. C, 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 R, A, B, C, D, E, F, R, C, R, W, C, R, W, V. Buy. Anyways.
500. Oh, 5,000.
Yeah,
Never mind.
5,000. But it looks like it was paired off a little bit there. So, anyways, doesn't look like it's going to be a big, huge move for COREWEAVE on the imbalance, but a nice move there to close the day above. You said this is a buyout.
Well, I just want to show everybody here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, like I do trade these, so I want to, in full transparency, that ITCI, like I've been sitting in and out of this thing. Like, look at it not move. I've been sitting short, taking fills in front of the price all day long. So I did have a small position I tried to add to in here and then get out on the way down. But as I said before, this is the kind of trade where you're trying to risk a couple of cents to make 10. And if I don't get filled anything through the bids, I'll probably just throw it into the auction. Just because obviously 250 has come and is gone on Newsmax. It is absolutely gone to the upside. It's breaking new highs. WTF, there was no fail break. I said I wouldn't do it after 350 for risk of getting caught in a halt. That just broke the high of the day, now at $18 as well. One last trip to the desk with Adair, I believe, as these IPOs are, well, they're absurd. And they're still going, everybody. Adair? Yes? No? No, we'll give it another 30 seconds there, but that's fine. We can just look at WTF and NMAX, which is now at $263 to the upside. This squeeze is going to unwind in unbelievable fashion, but you know what? Enjoy it while you can. And I really wish, Mr. Westermeyer, that you weren't joking about that long. But shout out to you. Thank you for that super chat. 1401 would look very pretty for anyone that's in this. Imagine anyone that's locked up in this. It's like, I can't sell. I can't sell.
I mean, yeah, no, we have right now $2.50 in the money on a trade that we just put on 3 minutes ago. So this is a real one here, not an April Fool's joke. There it goes, now $52. We are now $3 now in the money on COREWEAVE as it takes it out. There it goes, man. That's the trade right there for me here into the close. We continue to go higher, man. Go COREWEAVE, go. Breaking through $52. We're long at 49 right now on CRWV. So let's Let's go, man. Making some money back here on CoreWeave. Also, JP Morgan near the highs. I'm just going to punch out of JP Morgan because that's just what it is right now. Nice move. JP Morgan, nice trade. But it's CoreWeave trying to go. I got to more focus. I got to focus more on this play right now. Is that a Dara?
This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at Trade the Pool. We all know the saying, big opportunity comes with big risk. What if that wasn't true anymore? Trade the Pool is redefining what risk means for traders. No more risking your life savings to prove yourself in the market. They give you access to company capital, up to $200,000 to trade real stocks. No CFDs, and your downside is limited to a single one-time fee that starts at just $47. So that means no blowing up your personal account. You get to trade with serious buying power, all while knowing your loss is capped. Trade the Pool now offers an unlimited time during the evaluation, so you get the freedom to trade your way with no time pressure. Visit tradethepool.com and see how far your $47 can take you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. At 355 hit, there weren't any massive imbalances on the big cap tech names. However, NVIDIA, which was not there before, is now a 1.3 million to the buy side. So it's now a buy imbalance on NVIDIA. That ITCI, which I told you, I'm in it. We're playing that one short to the price, and it is 2.7 to the sell side. I now have thrown it into the auction. We'll see what happens with the last of that order. Newsmax is continuing to go higher. WTF is also continuing to go higher. By the way, just for anyone out there, if this were to halt, if you get a halt in Newsmax, or WTF, or anything for that matter, it will open at 4 o'clock. Regardless, volatility halts are 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It doesn't open until 4 o'clock. That's just the rule. Any halt within the last 10 minutes in the New York or the NASDAQ, I think also, pretty sure it's also in the NYSE American markets. That'll open at 4, and then you got the aftermarket trading. So these things have been absolutely nonsensical. NVIDIA, when it flipped, this is what happened when it flipped to the buy side at 355, now powering higher and higher. Great day overall for the market, but NVIDIA 1.5%, looking incredibly strong. For myself, I'm going to double check to see what Micron ended up doing here. I do know, yeah, I mean, obviously Micron's going to close at the high. The reason I'm looking at it is condition met for Micron. So Micron held 85, 84, 85 on the daily, closed the next day higher. So that's the swing that I'm looking for. We're going to buy some, well, I mean, I say we, but I mean me. I am going to be buying some Micron shares to swing, giving it to the low, which is a really tight stop, but that's what's been working, and then play it back into this 105 to 110 level. So that's a plan of action. But I would do it, and that's the trade I want to be able to put on. So we're just going to be watching with the last 2 minutes here. Not much, as I said, on those imbalances. It'll be WTF and Newsmax. I know Mr. Westermeyer, our good friend in the chat, was joking about it. I'm actually curious if anyone even traded this thing here today. I feel like the second this falls apart, there's going to be a lot of people trying to buy dips on this. And that's the problem. Like, you need to get it when it's hot. And usually when it's early in the day before it goes. In the afternoon, it can be really tricky. Just remember, no one ever went broke taking profit. Time lights out just said 200%. Yeah, it was 200%. And now already pulling back. Like, look at that, just 25. It just pulled back $25 in a couple of minutes here. Like, that's the craziness that's going on with this stock. It's complete and utter nonsense. But you know what? Trend is your friend till the end. I feel like if we come in tomorrow and these are still as priced the way they are, the only one I'd pay for locates on because it's cheap enough is WTF. But even then, this could be at $30 tomorrow for all I know. It could be at 30, it could be at 10, it could be at 5, or anything in between all of those.
We're back right now. So this is now $3. We're going to have to start to get some out as it's going even higher right now, $3.25. We just having a problem with our layout there for the market recap show, but we'll get that all fixed out in a minute. There it goes, man, 52.70. Let's go, man. Nice move right there into the close. Bang. Talk about like never knowing where your bread's going to be buttered, man. I mean, CoreWeave breaking through 52. Like, yesterday was my #1 stock, I believe, and today it looks like it might, it probably won't take over Apple, but there it goes, man, CoreWeave. Good trade there into the close. Just took the break of 50. It did break against us. We got out at 49 and change and then busted it again through 53. There goes CoreWeave right now. We got to get out because we can't be in this into the into the after hours. So right now, there it goes, man. We might as well. I mean, I still think we can go higher, my guy. But we'll just get out here at 78 if we can on CoreWeave right there. Oh, no, it's bouncing against us. All right, I'm just going to punch out. We have lots of liquidity there. There it is. Boom, what a trade there at the end of the day. So there it goes, man, up to $53. Boom, goes, there it goes. We had to get out, unfortunately, but there goes CoreWeave right there. $4 winner, $4.50 for you right there at the end of the day. Boom goes the dynamite on CRWV. So I hope you enjoyed that trade there with now only 10 seconds left. I'm going to go over to the desk and I'll see everybody for the market recap show. That was a big one.
Yeah, great look. Oh, shoot. And I was just talking about getting distracted for a second. I was just with the Daps, John, but the countdown in 2 and 1, it's actually right now, Adara.
That's the problem.
I knew it was going to happen. I was just having this conversation earlier about how when you're focused on talking, you don't necessarily want to have to ring the countdown bell, but that was a wild close. By the way, there was a flush on Newsmax right at the end of the day, everybody. Like right here at the end. Whoops, it's a New York stock. There was a flush down into 230, so that lost the bid. You had WTF as well, actually holding the highs. At one point, it did wick to 21 and came back underneath. Now it's starting to come back in after Newsmax fell. So you're getting a little bit of a pullback, not as much in WTF. It's hard to say that one without laughing. But it's been an IPO kind of day, and no question about it. CoreWeave flying, WTF flying, Newsmax also going absolutely crazy. You can't get away from them, but like we said, you got to be very, very careful when you are trading. I want to give a big shout out to Nimrod again. Appreciate you, Nimrod. 20 gifted memberships. So thank you very much, Nimrod, one of our longtime viewers and friend of the show. Everyone in our community is fantastic, and just pay it forward, everybody. That's what it's all about. Like, just spread the love, spread the knowledge, spread the ideas, spread the symbols to look at, and that's what it's all about. Everybody here has a different perspective, and that's what makes the show so great. Big shout out to Fabian Remain on the ones and twos, making us look and sound good. And big shout out on the midday. You had Obi filling in for Sharif with Joey Options, and that was a fun one. There he is with the shades on, hopefully eating some apple pie. But you know what, everybody? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You've got the market recap, the Profit X market recap coming on up. You got Brian Shannon, one of our favorite guests, going to be joining Sean and Adara, and your Profit X recap show starts now.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, just hearing that right now, Donald Trump's going to consider a final proposal for TikTok tomorrow. So maybe something is ticking and talking right now for Donald, and what's going to happen with TikTok. Oh, no, I just lost absolutely everything. So how's it going, Adara?
I'm good. I'm just listening to that Senate Judiciary Committee meeting. I do not know if it's necessarily going to be market moving. It hasn't been so far, but I think it's still worth noting. Basically, the point of this meeting is consider a act here, the America First Act, which should really crack down here on these big tech, specifically with these antitrust regulations. We know we heard a lot that this new administration is going to be good for antitrust, but really this is actually a bipartisan issue. You could really tell that here. People very much seem to be on the side of cracking down on these mega tech corporations. Everybody here who's had to testify, so that includes people from Y Combinator, fighting for small businesses. We also have people from DuckDuckGo and some professors that really all seem to be here in agreement with what the Senate is proposing. They really want to be able to crack down on the U.S. So really, Sean, I think this antitrust issue is not at all going to end with this administration. I think, if anything, it's only just getting started.
You're probably going to be right about that one. As we heard that interesting story with Apple and Donald Trump. They're taking one of the lawyers, I guess, away from Apple. So that should be another exciting thing to look at. Yeah, what a great move at the end of the day. I'm not logged into my account, but wow, what a CoreWeave move at the end of the day. We actually busted through long at 50 right there at the end of the day. Put that one out and bang, that was a big win there for us at the end of the day through $50. We did lose our day a little bit on TQs. Trying to short this move. Did not expect, well, first of all, we were long down there, but we did not expect this move there at the end of the day. Huge move back at almost closing at the highs for the NASDAQ. That's TQQs, but if we're going to look at the NASDAQ in general, good overall day, man, up another 1%. Yesterday, the NASDAQ was down 0.14 with an up S&P and an up Dow, but today it looks like the Invesco QQQ, the NASDAQ 100, nicely cooking there, up 0.8. Let me check out what the diamonds did today. Again, they were up 400 points yesterday. You can see today down. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of strength there in the NASDAQ. What did the spiders wind up today? Flat? No, up 0.3. So looks like no April Fools. We get the two big markets up today. And Adara's in the, oh, my stream deck's not up, open. He's in the green. So we say, shout out to that one today as a nice little move higher for the markets today for SPY. Most markets look to be, there it is, bang. Most markets look to be up. Oh, great, now I can't close Stream Deck. I think this computer is like really super slow or lagging or something. But there it is, man, XLV, we talked about healthcare today. Led, of course, as you were just talking to me about this, J&J down 8% today.
Oh, yeah.
Yuck, as that just kept on going and actually accelerated into the close. J&J today got bad news about one of their court cases. They're like, no worries about that. We'll challenge it. But at the end of the day, when that happens, oh, I'm trying to switch charts over here to get into another chart. Go into the daily chart here for that. As you can see, J&J, a big middle finger the other way right now to the bulls, and the bears today winning on J&J. So again, a nice move down. The end of the day, they're not looking good for J&J. Tesla helped the NASDAQ today for sure, up 3%, so that was a big mover. But closing again near the, not near the lows, but near the lows of the afternoon, and pretty much giving back a lot of that move. We closed to where we were at 10 o'clock. So big move back in for Tesla. Apple off that Trump. I mean, the whole market started to rally at the end of the day, but Apple definitely got going there. So congratulations for anybody that was on that. We did see a pullback down. We did have Mitch from Trade the Pool come on earlier. Again, he was loving gold. A lot of people liking gold. More on what's been happening for gold, but today a little bit of a slowdown for that, as well as XLF. You saw me at the end of the day trading some JP Morgan, hoping that that would get going, and it did. We had a good trade there at the end of the day. Positive on JP Morgan, and a big positive day for COREWEAVE at the end of the day. Wow, okay, we don't need the daily chart for COREWEAVE. I did want to ask Michael, okay, so yeah, still $53. Good move there. CRWV on day two. Yesterday, everyone thought like, okay, COREWEAVE was trying to come out low range 45, high range 55. They actually IPO out at 39 yesterday, and here we go today. Huge move upside. What is going on with this stock? WTF today? Yeah, comes out right away and pretty calm actually at 12 o'clock. It really does nothing all day until 1 o'clock when something happened. And what happened was, looks like it just broke that high. And once that happened, it was off to the races for WTF. So a new one, Watson Financial, nice upside move. WFM, another name. Was it WFM? I thought it was.
WTF.
Yeah, and there was another one. I thought it was WFM, but anyways, okay. We'll pass on that.
WXM?
Was it WXM? Yes, good call. Looks like, yeah, so there it is too. So WXM, very, very similar name. It looks like it doesn't do much again until we kind of break those highs, right? Excuse me. That high of $5 right there. So it looks like it does eventually break 475. And once that happens, it goes straight to 7. Ends the day back at IPO pricing and then making a move now in the after hours. And the one from yesterday, of course, the big one that we were talking, yeah, WXM. Thank you for that in the chat there, Stuart, as well. What was the big one from yesterday that we had talked
NMAX.
about? Yeah, Newsmax, NMAX, the one that we definitely want to talk to. Well, you know what? I'm not expecting Brian to talk too much about NMAX, because what are you really going to talk about when yesterday we IPO there at $12 or so and make that move today up to $235. NMAX here, even after hours, holding good at 230. Look, yesterday, man, into the close, I was like, wow, you got a nice bump into yesterday's close, right? Into $89. I thought that was a good out. Well, that was wrong, and we just took off there. Looked like we did hold $100 pretty nicely, but Newsmax still going there to the upside. Tesla, I still think has a $300 idea behind it. We'll wait to see tomorrow. if there's no tariffs on cars or something special about Tesla, I don't know exactly what that could be. We could see this stock start to go there tomorrow. The worst quarter since 2022 for NVIDIA. Today starts a new quarter and they're up 2%. So definitely helping some of those sectors out, the chip names today as well. All right, so stock specific here. As we'll get ready, we'll call on Brian Shannon in a few minutes here. But NVIDIA looks like it leads the way, up 1.6% today. Microsoft, Meta, and Google and Amazon all nicely cooking. Walmart off of a huge day yesterday, up 1.1%. Health technology, Adara, we did indicate that this was the worst sector, XLV. And you could see Lilly down, AbbVie down, J&J, the monster down as well. But their problems are talc, so it's completely separate for everybody else there. BMY, like what a bad day today in general for healthcare. Like we talked about Pfizer being a yield trap yesterday, 6.8% yield for Pfizer. That looks like it wants to go lower as well. So definitely the biggest disappointment today, health technology. Finance, again, pretty mixed there as we now get a slew of IPOs coming to market. As long as those IPOs can stay pretty strong, I do like some of the financials today. JP Morgan giving back a little bit. Nice day yesterday, giving back some today, down 0.67. American Express, so on and so forth. Today to the upside was this Aflac. All right, some nice moves there in insurance. Aflac, yeah, we like that. Was that little duck that goes around? Is that the
I think it's a duck.
It's a duck going through there as well. So anything happening in the after hours right now before we go on?
Tesla's dropping. I have no news on it. That Senate committee meeting just ended. And I am working on more infographics for you guys, just Q1 and review. So definitely check those out. What I'm going to be doing is every single sector on the S&P 500, all 11 sectors, we're going to have graphics for each one, the top 5 and bottom 5 stocks from that sector in Q1. So stay tuned for those. Other than that, not much happening here today. Sean, let me think. What else looking at? Oh, AppLovin had a really good day today. I saw some people in the chat mentioning that as well. It was up like 6% or something.
AppLovin.
Really strong. Looks like people were AppLovin it after a lot of app hating from these short sellers. And that thing keeps bouncing off of this longer term support level at 234. I would show my chart, but it's super marked up. But on the daily level, we repeatedly have the support at 234. I think if we can hold that 234, probably a good time for that. Bitcoin had a great day as well. MSTR closed new day's highs.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to look at was the next little set there. I was going to call up AppLovin. I didn't realize it was on my chart. But all right, so yeah, Bitcoin right here, trying to load it up. We talked about this earlier, and it looks like it does want to hold, although we are coming back in just a little bit. Let me refresh this page just to make sure we do get the right look. Okay, it is right. So I was just going to say this is a 15-minute chart. So we are trying to drop down a little bit outside here for BTC. It looks like 85,000 is trying to hold, so we do like those levels coming through right now. 50-period moving average trying to be respected right now at that level. Actually, no, that's a 25 period. I'm going to have to adjust these settings, but right now it looks like 84 and change trying to hold for Bitcoin. We did get that story about how ETH was down, and this is from Brian as well. ETH down 40% year to date. Right now. So over 40% on Ethereum downside. So if you're looking at some crypto plays, here we go on the daily chart. And yeah, that is right. Here we go. $31 for Ethereum. This is ETHE, right? $31 at January 6th, down to 15. So that is a destruction right there of over 50%, close to 50% downside right now. Oh no, GameStop just filed again? No, what did they file? All right, so we'll wait on that one. My heart skips a beat right there. Okay, they completed their private offering previously announced. So, all right, so they're just announcing that private offering that we had seen not too long ago on GameStop, which created this move down, is now complete. So you could get a little, if I'm thinking the same thing, I'm just hearing it in my ear. Now we could get a little bit of a pop on that, would make a little bit of a sense, but just coming back in a little bit here. GME, we can look at a 1-minute chart to see if there's anything going on there for GameStop. Yeah, just a pop and then a little bit of a move down. Newsmax moving a little bit here in the after hours now, 940, still trying to hold out on that one. CRWV, we had a good trade there. Wow, $53 at the end of the day. We took a 50 break long. That looked like it's going to be good. Checking in on some of the tariff plays, right? General Motors, what kind of a day did we have? Let's go back over to a 3-minute chart right now on GM. So flat today, as a lot of the tariffs are right now, I feel like being baked in. So Ford, probably something very, very similar today as well. Actually, Ford downside. I believe there was Ford specific news. Ford downside there.
GM specific news.
Oh, it's GM specific. Okay.
Deliveries, they were really good.
GM had good deliveries and relatively flat, so interesting to hear about that one. Rivian, we know Rivian is primarily produced in the United States. There are some foreign parts involved with Rivian, so again, we'll wait to hear tomorrow what exactly are these auto tariffs all about. Who are they going to affect? Is it parts? Is it the full car? Where does the car have to be manufactured? Where does it have to be put together? What is Rivian going to do tomorrow? Very, very interesting on that one. And then we sort of started this by showing you guys some BTC. So yeah, Bitcoin and IBIT. Let's just see where IBIT went out today. That's what I thought. So IBIT goes out near the highs of the day. So it's nice to see. We did talk about the Bitcoin chart. Looks like IBIT right now holding out pretty good on the high side there today. So that's pretty much it. We didn't have too many earnings. We did look at American Airlines today as, again, a little worried about some of this drop. If you're looking for something here, American Airlines near the lows. I still think people are traveling a lot, but you're going to have to hold back some of your expectations because, again, what does energy do tomorrow? What are the tariffs for energy? Do we clap back here in Ontario or in Canada and restrict some of the energy plays, or electricity, so on and so forth moving forward? What about light sweet crude? We did see XLE. XLE, one of the best sectors, man. The energy sector up 9% so far this year. So nice move there for XLE. It's kind of cherry picking because we had a nice downside move. Like if you go back to November, you're not near those highs, but because we had such a huge move, that's January right there. So you're going to see year to date 9.74%. So a nice move there year to date on XLE as that comes back to the upside there, trying to break out. I think I'm gonna actually, when we get Brian on board, I'm going to ask him about energy. Because you could see XLE's trying to go here. And if we actually look at a little bit of a longer time frame, a weekly chart, it's still pretty flat, looking to break out. And I mean, we're still looking for that break of $100 here on the Select Spider Energy Fund. And if you're going to look at USO again, still lots of work to do. This is just a weekly chart for USO, XOM. I mean, we have a lot of consolidation in this space, right? We actually haven't gone anywhere. This goes back to 22 right here for ExxonMobil. So otherwise, collecting dividends, this space still needs to go. And if we look at gold, and a lot of you might be like, well, when are we ever going to break out? Part of the thing is you never know when the breakouts are going to happen. So there's actually nothing wrong with looking at things as they begin to break out. Because if you go back to gold here, that's 2020, right? And so if you played that as potentially breaking out, you had to wait 4 years before you finally got back to those levels. But look what happens on that breakout, right? 193 straight up, $100 up into 280. Gold on one right now as GLD on the week continues to move higher. So sometimes you wait for these breakouts, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. But here's a daily chart for GLD. Looks like it wants to go, man. Change in the last 20 days alone, up 8%, 19% year to date on gold. So, all right, we're ready to rock and roll. We have one of our favorite guests with us right now. It's Mr. Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends. Let's bring him on Trader Talk. Oh, here we go. Now it's Trader Talk. There we go. Thanks, Fabian. We'll run that. Hi, Brian. We like you so much. You got double the Trader Talk bumper right there. So how are you doing, my friend?
Doing all right, Sean. We got a lot of volatility here, don't we?
We sure do. And we had you on last week and we talked about, what's going to happen potentially tomorrow. And you and I kind of just said, you know what? Let's wait to see what winds up happening. I don't know. Do you take anything from that move, that late session move? If we come over to the charts here, we could see in the triple Qs. You take anything from this? A huge move right there at the end of the day. Basically starts around 3 o'clock and just motors. This is a 5-minute chart all the way back to highs. You think that's significant anywhere there? Any anchors, anything you're looking at for potential open tomorrow?
It's near-term constructive, but I've still got a lot of doubt about whether we can sustain it because we have that declining 5-day moving average. We have a declining 20-day moving average. We have a declining 50-day moving average. So this here is our... Oh, did I share the wrong screen? Am I sharing Bitcoin there?
What is he? Yeah, that's the wrong one there. That was Bitcoin.
That's the wrong screen. That's my fault. Sorry
Okay, we'll
about
get that back. We'll give you a second.
But we did, we have, slightly constructive is the point. And there's what we're looking at. So, we had a higher high and a higher low. We took out that prior low yesterday, and then today we held above the week-to-date volume-weighted average price. So again, mixed messages, Sean. I'm, prepared for further volatility, basically.
Was there anything, and I actually sort of caught this from you today, was there anything about Ethereum? We did see that the quarter is now over, so there's some review to be had there on what sectors, and we just did a little bit of that work here on the show as well, what sectors have been moving around. And of course, when we talk about crypto, there's really just the two big names, and it looks like it might just be the one big name now, but we always looked at Ethereum and we looked at Bitcoin. I'm surprised. I don't know if there's anything that triggered for you, if we're looking to pick anything up, but right now Ethereum being down 44% year to date. Wow, pretty bad. And it looks like we're coming into some levels here on the daily chart. Anything you're looking to do with Ethereum, or maybe we just wait till it's out of the penalty box as you've coined?
Yeah, that's not one that I really have much interest in here, Sean. I think that maybe you confused me for someone else too, because I wasn't talking about Ethereum. And in fact, my Twitter account is hacked. So if anyone is looking for me on Twitter, that's what's going on there. Ethereum rather is still in a downtrend here. If they didn't scare you out, they're likely to wear you out. So I just don't really see anything compelling going on with that one.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian, what I was actually mentioning to you is that you did post something about the worst sectors for the quarter, and you actually had Ethereum in there. And that's where I was looking through the schedule and I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was down that much, as opposed to Bitcoin just being down 11%. So I think you and I are probably in the same spot right here. If you do like any names in crypto, is it that we just stay with Bitcoin, or do we stay away until we maybe might test that 70,000 mark? Are you looking at Bitcoin at all right now?
Bitcoin's holding the anchor from the August low of last year. And, that's constructive, but it's not enough, I don't think, to be a buyer of it aggressively.
Right.
I'm still hoping that we see a bigger breakdown towards that 70 level and give up the gains from the election. So I'm just kind of sitting on the sidelines in terms of Bitcoin.
Right, here was, and I'm not trying to promote, because as you mentioned, you do have a problem right now with your account, but this is what I was looking at right now. Only 3 sectors right now up year to date, and I want to thank you for posting that and putting that to everyone's attention. XLE, TLT, and XLF, with the Dow just hovering around 1.3%. So, what did you think about that? We did talk about XLE potentially breaking some of those highs. Here's what it looks like on the weekly. We do get a lot of consolidation. Energy on your mind at all right now? It looks like we could break out. I'm be excited for a 98 break here on XLE.
I think, as long as XLE maintains above about 91.5, that you've got a good chance that it can break out. And here's that 91.5 level. That's basically the low of the last 2 weeks. So we had a nice run off the lows. Now it's kind of consolidating a little bit. As you pointed out on the weekly chart, we're just kind of stuck in this bigger range. And the good news is, after this big rally, we've been correcting sideways through time, building energy. We didn't see it do what, these other markets are doing, which was to break down to a stage 4 decline. So it's looking constructive. I saw yesterday oil was up a couple dollars, and oil's up on the year as well. Pulled back a little bit today, but there's certainly some names like Chevron, CVX is starting to, this one has broken out. In fact, if you look at the weekly chart, after a couple years of highs right in there. So if it can hold these, I think, you look at a stock like Chevron, which is clearly a leader. Oxy still stuck in that pattern, though, of lower highs and lower lows. I know everyone likes to look at that one because Warren's involved, but it's still just not quite ready yet.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Brian. I'm going to bring a really different one here. I'm sure you've seen those wild IPOs as of late. The Newsmax, CoreWeave, especially the WTF one from today, or WXM. Now, these are not necessarily the type of plays you normally do, but as someone who usually will do some of these swing type plays, how do you look at these? And are there any specific type of anchor VWAPs you like to use with regards to new IPOs?
Yeah, CoreWeave, I did trade a little bit today. I wasn't familiar with that other one that came public. That's the first time I'd heard of that. But it was interesting, I was pointing this out this morning that COREWEAVE was kind of it was in between the anchor from the IPO, this black one right here, and the 2-day. So that was from yesterday. So pre-market, we saw it bouncing around in there. And then today on the open, it took that level out. And then when you look at it, on shorter term time frames, you look at it and say, it held the volume weighted average price, had a little bit of a shakeout here, but it was, up and away pretty much all day. And that doesn't mean it was easy to trade when you had some of these larger pullbacks in here, but, there was definitely some nice opportunity. I got involved a little bit right here at the end of the day, and that kind of actually saved my day for me.
Actually, great minds must think alike. I actually took that long as well, breaking through 50. I'm not sure if you were long or not, but we took that level, played some of the momentum to the upside. All right, the Russell. We saw you post something over the weekend here about IWM holding some anchors. Again, so many names look like they're ready for bounce, and I know that's what we're talking about. It seems like we're talking about the same thing over and over again, but the Russell's something that a lot of traders are looking at for potential, move a little lower, I think, especially in the fact that we don't have the interest rates cut that we think is coming through. And then tariffs definitely affecting, the importing and exporting. So we'll see if small businesses can survive some of this talk. You think you got a little bit of an edge here in IWM or anywhere? Anything you're thinking in this space at all?
Not yet, Sean. It's still really a broken market. I'm looking at the anchor off of the 2020 low.
Okay.
That would bring it potentially down to about 191. So that's still another 5% away if it does drop there. On the daily time frame, we're not even stabilizing. We have lower highs and lower lows. I think you look at the Russell 2000 and you look at the biotechs and look at what's going on with these biotechs. They, the same type of chart where we're just showing these lower highs and lower lows. And on that weekly time frame, look what happened to these biotechs just in the last couple of days. A lot of people thought, well, they're holding the anchor off of that 2022 low and that sort of thing, and we're down at support, so I'm going to buy it. But man, they've just been a disaster, and they continue to be just awful here, closing right at the lows again today. So no bounce in that group. And again, the Russell 2000 is similar in that we're just not catching a significant bid anywhere.
XBI was what I've been looking at, and actually something that I've been buying have been XBI. And yesterday, of course, that is the biotech ETF, and something similar to what you're talking about. And yesterday, of course, we get that. It's not Moderna specific, but with the FDA head stepping down due to RFK and just having a little bit of a decision to make as far as what's going to happen with vaccines, and that really hurt Moderna. And you could see Moderna. This might be one. If it's not on your radar right now, Brian, I feel like we could probably start to drop something down in here as we get right back into COVID levels for mRNA. I still cannot believe that we had seen $480, $500 as a top for Moderna, now back to 27. I mean, it's amazing how some of these things happen. Feels like we just went through a really wild time in the market in the last 5 years, and now maybe the market's trying to breathe for some of these names. Did you ever look at Moderna over the last couple of days? Big move down yesterday and at some of these lows. Look, you made a great call on Intel before when we were looking at that at 19 and 20. You nailed it with I think it was a 40-year anchor, and then we popped back up. We were laughing, but that move actually went up about 50%. It went from $19, $20 up to $28, and now it's fallen back in. So you see anything with Moderna? I know there's a lot of traders that like to bottom pick.
I don't, Sean. I just see a stock that continues lower. It's, below the anchor from the IPO in 2018. It's below the anchor, of course, from the highs and, just pretty much every anchor point. This stock seems like it might be one that continues down to test the lows. And that were, these lows over here were at 11 and a half. So I don't think it's going to get cut in half. It doesn't seem reasonable to me, but the trend is certainly lower, and I wouldn't fight it.
So give me some good news about SMH or NVIDIA or AMD or anything AI related. Do you have anything good to say about this? Because I'm looking at some of these stocks and it looks like, although NVIDIA, again, we talked about short term, NVIDIA goes out today at the highs, which is really nice. Huge move there at the end of the day. But realistically, hard to get too excited when, again, we all talk about the king of the castle. It looks like the emperor might not have any clothes as we're now underneath the 200 period, a sloping down 50 period moving average right now. And it looks like the 200 is about to turn on it as well. So anything positive to say, because I can't find too much?
I think you can look at it for, a little bit further bounce in here. It came down to the 2-year anchor, so from January of 2024, and bounced from there perfectly yesterday.
Right.
And as you pointed out, declining 20, declining 50, declining 200-day moving average, a pattern that has been very clear, lower highs and lower lows. So, maybe we get another bounce that's tradable up in towards, even 120 or so, Sean. And then if it could rebuild like this, then maybe it could, look more realistic to the upside to be able to sustain something. But, AMD, same story. This is what I've been talking about this over and over again. The sum of these declines has been greater than the sum of the rallies because we're in a downtrend in AMD. And, I've sketched this out. Maybe, it's broken in terms of price action. It's going to need time to heal. So I'm just not excited about any of these semis.
Yeah,
Not for anything more than just a little bounce here and there.
Yeah, same. I think we need to let things settle down just a bit. All right, I've asked you a bunch of questions, a bunch of different names. Is there anything maybe more specific? Sometimes you drill down some smaller names, or anything right now that maybe you're looking at that we can give the viewers before we let you go?
Well, like you said, keep an eye on XLE. One little name that looks interesting is ADT, but it's so hard to trust anything. I mean, normally if we had a bullish environment, I'd be really excited about a stock like this. But it seems like, today's, treasure is tomorrow's trash in terms of relative strength. And here we are, it's got good volume. It's, holding on to its gains. But, it's no different than somebody asked me about Redfin the other day. Over the weekend. And I said, it's holding on, but it seems more likely that just, because that's the pattern is that they break down. So I'm just really playing it pretty tight in here, Sean, and really not excited about putting money away for even swing trades.
All right, thank you so much, Brian. And you never asked me to do it, but I do it anyways. Maximum Trading Gains with an Anchored VWAP. I want to make sure everyone goes and picks this book up. Very popular book on the floor as you've continued to support our show. So we're going to continue to do that for you as well. So Brian Shannon, thank you so much for joining us one more time. And good luck with everything that's happening in the background for you. And we'll look to have you on again next week. And good luck through, look, it's been called Liberation tomorrow. I said maybe liquidation. Maybe instead. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't get too liquidated tomorrow. Brian, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers. That's Trader Talk.
Good night.
All right, there we go. Brian Shannon. I mean, probably the best in the business. I think we can. Oh, we didn't even talk about StockTwits. I don't know if his StockTwits poll is over yet or not. I hope you guys go over there and vote for him on StockTwits for Best Educator. So shout out to Brian Shannon. Again, man, very, very happy to have him on and a continued supporter of Trader TV Live and a great guest. Thank you, Brian, for everything that you've done for us. All right, one more time, it's roll call. Thank you to everybody that stayed late with us. Again, over 3,000 of you staying late. So we want to thank you for that, especially with no earnings. So again, big shout out to everybody there. I just saw NMAX again. Thanks, Michelle, for bringing. Hold on a second. Let me just call up NMAX. She said breaking highs again here in the after hours. And yeah, you're right, man. $280 right there for NMAX. Man, you could have had this thing at $14 yesterday, but there it goes, man. The market's not broken at all. No, it's fine. But Newsmax, linear cable companies, going linear upside. Thank you so much to Normal Special. Hey, if you're normal, you are special. Thank you so much, Bears versus Bulls. Girl Trader as well, Dave B. Michelle, thank you so much for coming through as well. Jason's there. Patrick is here. KVI Travin is here as well. Profits. Stevenson Etienne, good luck, my guy. I hope you're able to pass all. I think you already passed, though, didn't you? Right there with, yeah, exactly, with Trade the Pool. So thank you, Stevenson, as well. COREWEAVE as well. Adara's super busy, so I'm just going to say.
I can do some if you. I have no problem doing them.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah,
I know you're working on an infographic, but go ahead, say hi to some
Sam,
people.
Carl Gruen, Alfredo Marquez, Wall Street only, Rajesh Miglani. We have the Piper, we have Bears versus Bulls. Thank you for everything you do every single day. Marie, Normal Special, Andrew Bakes Cake, Sam, the Stock Trader, Xenon Stuff, Live, Love, Learn, Malcolm Aldridge, Bob Curran, Don, Trey Only, Girl Trader, Guillermo, Lazarus, Wall Street Only, and a Tool.
Tool, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks to Darren for doing all of that, plus work on the side. Check those infographics at TTV Research.
Thank you.
Make sure you do check those out. A lot of hard work being done on this floor for sure. So thank you to Fabian for staying late with us as well. Thanks, Adara, for you always stay late. So thank you, Adara, for that as well. Brendo, Neil, Sharif, hope you're having a good week off. Thank you, Obi, for filling in. Again, Obi will be here tomorrow. Thank you to Joseph today. Thank you to Andre. I don't think we missed anybody. So for that, see you. Bears versus Bulls. How could I forget you? Thank you so much. And thank you to all of the viewers for joining us one more time. All right. This is a 7-Eleven Slurpee. What flavor is it?
It's swamp water.
I knew you were going to say that. Swamp water. Okay, what does it start with? What flavor? No, Adara. I don't want to get too excited. I just want to know if there was one flavor that was missing. You know, which what would affect you the most? Like for me, if I'm building a swamp water, I want that Coke flavor.
Yeah.
Like you got to have a base somewhere, you know?
Yeah, so I like there to be something kind of cream soda-y or like classic pop-ish. I need there to be something caffeinated. So those two, 100% the backbone.
Good. I didn't want to get into your concoction because I think it would be very interesting.
I think that's a fair
Maybe
response.
We'll save that for another day. All right, thank you again so much for joining. Everybody here at Trader TV Live wants to give a big shout out to you. Thank you, viewers, for joining us. Make sure you do join us tomorrow at 8:30, where we are live every single day. So join us at 8:30 to 4:30 tomorrow, where we will have Tariff Wednesday. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.